What's going on? What's going on, man?
What it do? What it do?
Yo.
Man, good to have you guys, man. Glad to see everybody in attendance. What's going on, Red Pill? Cheers to King's Court in the house. I'm not sure. Is that you or is that somebody you sent over? Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, let me see.
No, it's in the chat. It was in the chat. What's going on, Doug?
Oh.
Dwayne Coleman, how y'all doing? Ronu, what's good? What's good? As you guys come and hit that like button, also make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We also have Mother Shay.
Mother Shay. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Yeah. And
What's up? What's up?
What's up?
What's good? What's good? Biz, you there? Big John, you coming on cam?
Yeah, let me figure this button out. That's so weird to me.
There you go. There you go.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yo, how you?
All right, man. We got a great show ahead for you guys, man. We're going to be talking about this. Shannon Sharpe breaks his silence on $50 million lawsuit and claims Tony is releasing an intimate tape, man. So I think it's going to be an interesting discussion. One of the things I like to do is kind of sit back sometimes and gather all the information just in case something comes out and we look like fools. But I don't think we look like a fool on this one. I think the evidence that's been presented seems to be solid, and everything is allegedly, right? It's allegedly until we take it to the court. From what I gathered, this seems to be like a civil matter. Seems to be a civil case, which means that I don't believe that he will be going to jail. Yeah. So, but nevertheless, anytime you have some of this negative publicity and negative things around you, trouble always follows. So we're going to take a deeper look into this and see what's going on. I do have an article that I'm going to share, which is from the AP. U.S. News, right? So it says ex-NFL player Shannon Sharpe accused of rape and $50 million civil lawsuit. It says a young woman who says she was essayed and threatened by retired NFL player Shannon Sharpe during a rocky consensual relationship has filed a civil lawsuit against him seeking $50 million in damages. So even though it was consensual, we have a problem. Attorneys filed the lawsuit Sunday in Clark County, Nevada, for a woman listed in the court documents as Jane Doe. We do now know that her name is Carly, and she's has OnlyFans, and she may have been at the age of 19 doing all of this, and I think she's in her early 20s, 21, 22, from what I've been able to gather. But the lawsuit also accuses Sharpe of using physical force on her and inflicting emotional distress. Consensual, but emotional distress. The woman first met Sharpe at a gym in Los Angeles in 2023, and she was 20. And nearly 2-year relationship followed, according to the court document. Sharpe, 56, and he's up there in age, is accused of essaying the woman in October of 2024 and again in January, court document said. So even though he was troubled, it seemed like he had multiple opportunities. So we're going to go ahead and get you guys' opinions about that too. Sharpe on Monday posted a statement from his attorney on X saying the relationship was consensual and calling the lawsuit a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Sharpe for millions of dollars. I did hear that he was 2 days away from signing a big podcast deal, $100 million. So perfect timing, right? Perfect timing is what it seemed to be. What's going on, everyone? How you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm gonna get to you in a second. Say Sharpe grew into fits of anger, and the plaintiff noted his infidelity to their relationship or called him out about the extraneous activities. The lawsuit says Sharpe even figured out how to get into Doe's apartment complex without her permission. Wow. So yeah, this is from AP News. This is a big thing, man. It's been all over, and we've been getting a lot of the information has been unfolding. So
yeah,
we want to get you guys immediate thoughts before we start going deeper into this. Immediate thoughts. Anybody can go first. Okay, I'll call him. Start with you. Shay, go ahead.
Well, me personally, I honestly feel like it is a cynical shakedown. I feel like, from what I've read and from the article that you've read, it just seems like their relationship was based off of this type of um, dominatrix type of relationship. Um, and although I do not agree with the huge age gap with him, interacting with somebody younger than his own child, either way, I still feel like it is a shakedown just due to the various other facts. But again, this is something Monique warned him about. So, I mean, I just feel like, I don't know. I have a lot of different opinions on it, but ultimately, I do feel like it's a shakedown, especially considering he offered her to settle before it even went public. So,
All right, what about you, Big John?
Man, I gotta say it's a tad bit disturbing, man. I feel like Shannon is a little too old and too experienced in the game of being a celebrity, in the game of dealing with a higher amount of money, knowing people go after money to take risks like that. And then let's not talk about the age range. That's just a little sickening if you ask me personally. So I heard the video, I heard a little video recording. Man, it just doesn't look good. It don't look good at all.
So you said the age is sickening. Do you think that when you get older that you will start looking at younger women? Or have you been looking at younger women? Not young, of course, legal, but as you get older, do you
Well, so
consider
at the
younger
age
women?
of 30, man, I find it harder to even speak with on a certain type of level somebody under maybe 27, 26. So I think, what is he about? He well into his 50s, man. And Shorty's 19. I don't see what you have in common with her other than you possibly changed to diapers at a point in time. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay.
All right. What about you, King's Court?
Man, the thing that bothers me, right, is they always trying to do this to a man, right? A black, particularly a black man. He's of course already been on the up and coming up, and he's successful, right? They always want to get these men like this, because also let's think about also about Jonathan Majors. Now we understand that he has something to do with that, but still it had to be with a particular type of woman. So yeah, I think that it's not right. Even though yeah, he's him being 56 and the girl is 20. It's like, come on, man. Like I don't know if he lost some of his deals already, but it's definitely a problem that needs to be dealt with. And yeah, so that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I don't think he lost any deals from what I've heard as of yet. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like some people are protected until the very end. I think Shannon Sharpe does have a reputation out here where a lot of people can benefit from it. So I think people are taking the cautious route. But am going to play a little bit of this video from Stephen A. Smith too, because he did respond, and it kind of looked like they maybe have some thoughts and ready to shake it up a little bit depending on the outcome. So people are they're not jumping to conclusions just yet, but they still seem like they're just trying to hold off to see how much information is out there and to see if he's innocent or if he's guilty or not. So we'll see. Go ahead, Viz. What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, I kind of been seeing it floating around on social media. As far as with the age thing, I think it's interesting that a lot of people really didn't give that same pushback with Tracy Ross. When she was talking about how she liked younger guys, and they're more open and fluid and all this other stuff, and the women, they was doing all of that, but somehow when it's a man, it's disturbing, it's disgusting. It's like they're both consenting adults. Yeah, it's a big age gap, sure, but clearly they're there just to have sex. So, I mean, I get it, but it's like I don't see what the big deal is with that. Now, I do think that if this comes to be uh, if this comes to be something that's a false allegation, I think that they need to pass a law to where people are doing jail time for this, because it's ridiculous at this point. We see a lot of people making these false accusations looking for a paycheck. So I think that um, that they need to pass a law to where it's like, yo, if this comes out to be false, then you got to sit down for like 10 years. You know, it needs to be something that's really that you're gonna feel it, to where it's like you're gonna double guess, you're gonna think about, is it really worth going through this? So that's my thoughts.
All right, go ahead, Miss Callie.
So, yeah, I just feel that the whole thing, it does kind of strike me as a shakedown, to be honest with you. He's about to get this deal, and then now it's just like, oh, but at the end of the day, we don't really know what really happened. All we can go off of is the text, and from what the texts come off of is that she did consent, but somewhere along the line she decided not to consent anymore. That's just kind of confusing to me, but teach his own. And yeah, no, Viz, honestly, there actually is a law that it is, at least in California, to where it is illegal to falsely accuse someone of a crime that they did not commit. So if this is proved to be that he did not do the thing she's accusing him of, he most definitely can not only countersue but also prosecute. And I think that it's really unfortunate, because this is a man that, he didn't just rise to fame. He's been known for a while, from just being in the sports. And then now he's trying to take off to a new venture. And now all of this is coming out of nowhere. From what I do know about entertainment industries is, you gotta be very careful in who you choose to have around you. But that's just in life. Right? We all got to be very, very careful on who we choose to have around us, because this is what happens. People can be your greatest downfall, or they can be your greatest asset. So especially if you're someone of that stature, you can't just be willy-nilly with anyone and everyone in your life, because you have way too much to lose. But I think he's seeing that. I think it's a very unfortunate situation, to be honest.
All right. Mr. Elmer, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as the situation, I don't know much about, but for what I'm hearing, it definitely sounds like a shakedown. But again, to feed off of Cali, I mean, he's too grown. He should have known better. Like, why would you put yourself in that predicament, especially with a woman that young? He should have known that people were going to look at him some type of way, especially with him advocating for others to not get caught in these situations. So definitely think he should have been smarter in that regard. But yeah.
All right. Go ahead, baby goat.
Shit. I'm gonna be honest, yo. Like, as far as I know, like what Callie said, like, he knew better. Like, but we don't know what happened. But I just can't fade the age gap, yo. Like, I got a daughter, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't agree with that. Like, he shouldn't have dealt with that off the jump. That's just
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the timing of it might suggest that it is a shakedown, just how everything seemed to be unfolded. But I do think Shannon has some accountability when it comes to this, man. He should have known better. But I do think about how we all have probably found ourselves in some situations, me personally, not that situation, but we have done some things where we look back like, damn, it's coming back to bite us in the ass, if you know what I mean. So it's one of those things that's just unfortunate. Him being 56 and dancing around, but some people have appetites, man. unfortunately, some people got some appetites, and his appetite has come back to hunt him. You know, I don't deal with it. I'm on the same lines as somebody spoke earlier. Like these kids, even though they're grown, they still like little kids to me. It's like when I got older, the women started to look younger and younger the more I'm getting older. So I can't see myself, you know, dipping down. Shit, under 30, to be honest. I can't see myself dipping down under 30 because that just seems like it's just too young. And then even when you have conversations with them, man, it's just y'all on two different type of levels for the most part. But you will hear some of the young women say, I am mature. I'm mature for my age, but that don't mean anything, man. It's just, I just can't get with it. And on top of that, what I'm hearing is that she's an OnlyFans. So he definitely had appetite. If he was looking at somebody that young, that was intentional. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play this audio clip. This is the first audio that actually had came out.
Everything I say, you're just gonna like get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
What does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a bitch to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh Lord have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the shit out of you when I see you. Thank you.
Okay. Well,
All right, that was the first audio, man. So
I don't trust anybody that video records out of nowhere. If he is unaware that this audio call is being recorded, she probably gaslit the frick out of him. He said some shit. She said, got you. Boom. The crazy part is they were talking to each other in very, like Shay said, dominatrix type. You know, she likes that stuff. So he's probably like, yo, like, when I see you, it's like on. And she's over here, you're manipulating me. Come on. I've seen this again and again and again and again. Listen, if this was something that serious, if it was really that serious, I get it. You might be afraid at first to come out and say something. Cool. But when you come out, you have the opportunity to go to the police. You go to the police. You go to the police and you get it taken care of immediately. You don't just sue somebody.
But
you don't just sue somebody. If he's that bad, if he really did that stuff to you, you're going to go and say, he assaulted me. He hurt me. I need to file a restraining order. I need to do this. I need to do that. Not run to the internet and just basically say, if you give me 50 million, I'll forgive you for everything that you did. Come on now. Come on.
Right. And it definitely gives that this was, like I said, that's probably, maybe that's one of his kinks or her kinks of being dominated. I don't know. She does OnlyFans. I don't know what type of content she does on her OnlyFans, but it's definitely absolutely 100% giving that was the basis of a big part of their sexual consensual relationship was her being dominated by him. Even the things that he said in the second clip and how he's phrasing it, it doesn't seem like it's ill intent, like malicious, like he really wants to choke you, but it's giving that's the way that they communicate. And she saw it as an opportunity to record, to make it look a certain way, and that's exactly what she did.
Because I've seen it. I see this day to day. I see women do this to men. I've seen it with my own two eyes, and I've seen men do this to women. I've seen it on both spectrums. So when I see something like this, and this as serious as this is the sad part. You have people out here that have really gone through what you're accusing someone of. And I don't know if you have, I don't know if you haven't. From what it looks like, it just looks a little too much. Like it's over. It's not even to the point where you're not even trying to tell your story anymore. It comes off as you're extorting someone to get money off of them because you know they're about to hit a jackpot. That's what it looks like to me. And I really hope that she didn't go through this. I really do. And I hope that she gets, the healing that she gets. But if she didn't go through this and she's doing all this, that's so effed up on so many occasions. And I think that Sharpe should take action, but we got to hold both parties accountable too, because Sharpe should have never put himself in that situation. He should have never did that at his age, at his success level. He has kids.
He's a grown ass man. Like,
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
this is a grown ass man. He could do whatever he wants to with a consensual of age woman or man, if that's what he into.
I mean,
That's
I'm a
true.
grown ass
difference,
woman.
though.
I could go and rob a bank if I wanted to, but I ain't gonna do it. You know, there's just certain common sense that you have to have. Like, the thing is like, I get it, lust, right? You have this money, you're able to do whomever you want and whatever you want, but you have to have some type of discipline to be like, nah, like I'm not gonna do that because it's gonna ruin everything.
I don't even
that I
think
got.
it's a discipline.
100%. We all know, especially men, all throughout history, men have always failed because of women. So in them thinking with their little head. So 100%.
What?
100%. That always gets men in trouble. Right?
That is true. I agree with that.
At the same time, this is a grown ass man that has the money to play with it. So he playing the field.
I mean,
but my only thing to that is that I would say is, yes, he can do whatever he wants. He is grown. She is grown. We could play that card. We can say that absolutely 100%. However, as a Black 56-year-old man who advocates, who preaches to younger athletes that are caught up in these type of situations on a day-to-day basis, whether that be on his podcast or just other conversations that he has, he should have known better. There's no, me personally, I don't believe her. I can get whatever backlash I get. I don't believe her. I'm completely on his side. I think it was consensual. I think it was a dominatrix thing, and I think she used that as an opportunity. And there's nothing stronger. There's no weapon stronger in America than white woman tears. Don't matter the age. So at the end of the day, I feel like, yes, he should have known better as a Black man who preaches to younger Black athletes to stay out of these type of situations, who counsels younger Black athletes that are in these situations. You can do whatever you want at the end of the day, but don't come to the public eye when it blows up in your face and try to save face for your actions. You can't do that.
So did he do that though?
You said what?
Did he do that?
Come to the public eye? I mean, yeah, he literally went and tried to explain himself. That's when he released the text messages between her and him. But my point is, all of this could have been avoided. You knew exactly what you had going on. You knew exactly what deals you had going. You knew what was on the line for you. That 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old person at the gym ain't have shit to lose. Nothing to lose. And you had everything to lose. Not saying you lost anything and not saying you will. But it's just the fact of, you being in that spotlight right now, especially with what you got going on.
Right. So, but I want to say, because as a man, right, you can definitely see that Shannon Sharpe is moving in his lust, right, and this is what I tell the young men and ladies on my when I have my panels and stuff like that. We gotta make sure and understand that about at least 90% of men on this earth, at least, don't have sexual discipline. They don't. So you knew what you're going to get into. You knew messing with this woman, right? She's going to get you on the vulnerable side, right? And then when it's that time, she know you got money. And she going to use that, what? As an advantage, because she already, but doesn't the girl already do OF? Come on now.
He literally paid her for her. Like, she literally would text him. The text came out. I don't know if it was in that article or the text messages that his lawyer released about her saying back in January of this year, saying, I know you missed these cheeks or whatever, 52, whatever amount of money to have it. So that was the basis of the relationship. So it's like, bro, you got to be more careful.
But doesn't that mean that he covered himself, right? If he has all of the text, he has all of the text messages.
You can still have receipts.
Supposedly there's a sex tape, right? He stated, hey, it's a 10-minute sex tape. Don't just drop the 15 seconds of it. Show the whole thing. So he knew what he was doing.
But did he?
It to me, it sounded like he knew what he was doing.
If
He
you
knew
try to
exactly what he was
settle,
doing.
if you try to settle prior to this coming out, you ain't know what you was doing. Because if you knew what you was doing, you would have never tried to settle because you knew you covered your ass beforehand. Clearly he didn't. Clearly he did. He couldn't have.
I mean, that's I think that's more so just the way of the world when you're in that celebrity status.
Nah.
People settle out of court all the time.
Nah, I don't think so. I think that him having those receipts doesn't necessarily mean that he was prepared or was preparing for something like this to occur. I think he just happens to have those receipts. They happen to have done a tape. She does OF, so it just happened that way. But he didn't prepare for her recording him. He probably didn't prepare for none of that.
Well,
But
no,
again,
not recording the call. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. And which is illegal in certain states.
Yeah, in California, you have to at least alert, hey, I'm recording this. So if they go to court, that's not even going to be admissible in court.
right, exactly. But is it? Yeah, that's my say. I feel like he should have. There's definitely moves he could have made to ensure
Yeah.
that if something like this were to arise, because of all of the facts, this is a 19-year-old. I'm a black man, old black man. Okay, a damn near senior citizen and a black man with money. Okay, I know what I got going on for me. There's things that he could have done to avoid this, whether that be a NDA,
NDA?
signing an NDA, or whatever the case may be. He could have done that like this. So there's no excuse for that. There's no excuse.
He'll be in the same boat.
You know what?
You know, he'll be in the same boat. You know how often women go against NDAs?
Yeah, no, they do. They do, but the only thing is, at the end of the day, we can never really prepare for someone doing some dirt on us. Let's just be honest. Because like at the end of the day, we never know if someone's gonna come and like, you know, me and Shay can have a great conversation. All of a sudden she could be like, fuck Callie, I'm gonna record her and then put her, you know. There's only so much. But at the same time, I do agree with what Shay's saying, because when you reach a certain level and when you reach a certain age, there comes a time where you just gotta be careful, man. Like you just gotta, especially for men, very careful, because men and women, it's a dog eat dog world out here, and if we don't protect ourselves, this is the type of shit that happened. But at the end of the day, she dead wrong for wanting all this and then wanting more. It just sounds like she wants more money. I mean, why didn't she just up her rates?
I think
up
her rates,
up her
too.
subscription.
Instead of 50, okay, 100 bands for a booty cheek or something. Okay, they won't even worth all this. She could have avoided that. She could have avoided that. He was willing to give it up. But my point is, for him to see this happen, it's not like this is the first case of a black man of his stature going through some shit like this. It's not. This is not the first time it happened. Okay, this is not. It's happened over and over and over and over and over again. And 9 times out of 10, who's the person accusing? What type of tears they got? White woman tears. I'm just saying. So you see it happen over and over and over again.
Come on now. You know that it's not only white women doing this.
Predominantly
white women. Yes, it is when it comes to black male athletes. Absolutely, 100%. You tell me, show me otherwise. Show me otherwise.
I do have some
I'm not saying they're the only people. I'm not saying that they're the only race of women that has women coming after males of that, of that stature, whatever. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is it's happened. Majority, exactly, and it's repetitive. It's repetitive.
Story.
Yeah, I do got some additional audio. I'm gonna play the second part of it too. That's leaked out.
Gabby.
That might not be in that one. Was that number 2? Let me see. Let me make sure. Yeah, this one right here. That was it.
I'm into LA tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did what you did to me.
Okay, well...
Well, what?
So you guys think that was role playing, or you think that was?
Tell me that was not a corn hub title. Tell me that want a corn hub title. Just saying.
And I feel like the way she's talking is very like
I'm
monotone and
not
too
really
like
that interested in.
And
yeah,
like,
like
oh, like
I
calm,
don't
like
want
this
to
is
be
a role
choked.
play.
and then the
No, I
open
don't want
ended
it.
like
I don't,
well
you don't want something? No, hell, what the fuck you put your hands on me for? The fuck? Like, come on, like we got listen.
If it was realistic,
I do not condone any violence, any woman putting hands on a man, any man putting hands on a woman. I do not condone rape. I do not condone grooming. I do not condone any of that. At the same time, these are two adults making a decision to have a certain lifestyle and then choosing not to, or whatever the case may happen. But if that were the case, right? If that were the case, why are you seeking all these money? Damn, that cannot fix what is done to you. What can fix that is prosecuting someone that can make it, to where it doesn't happen to the next person. A lawsuit is not going to be anything invigorating, because guess what? You're going to get all that money, but are you still satisfied within yourself? Are you still happy within yourself? No, because you'll never be, because you're the lifestyle that you're living and the amount of money it can never be good enough for you. So
because
it's
that's never a
really,
goal.
it's really, at the end of the day, there are people that really go through this shit. Like, there are people that really, really go through this. And I don't know what the play was. I don't know what their relationship was, but I don't know. It all sounds kind of scripted.
Yeah,
you never know.
Real bad. It sounds like a storyline. Like,
I mean, it does.
it's premeditated. It's premeditated.
It probably would have
for
went
sure.
different if she was a little bit more older, maybe mature. Probably not straight seeking for this type of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think age. Honestly, I think I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, I feel like y'all being disingenuous, man. This young lady is on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's her lifestyle. That's
it's like come on now. Like,
how many 50-year-old ladies on OnlyFans though?
You would be surprised.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of
50-year-olds.
Like, we live in a completely different world now. So I think what it sounds like is they role play. Shannon reached out to her because he saw something he liked. She was like, oh man, this big 6'6", 200 some pound nigga, hey, dominate me.
Right.
Young white girl dominated by big black.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
The crazy part is she sent him text messages saying, I want this stuff.
So it's
she
like
sent him messages saying she wants it.
She wants it. She said, put a dog collar on me. Like, that's what their relationship is.
On, man. Yeah, this is all fabricated allegations in which she should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law to make an example out of her.
Yeah, but I doubt she's not going to be the first. But
she's not going to be the first, and she won't be the last. It's going to continue to happen.
Yeah.
It's just so sad to the actual victims that go through this shit, though. Yeah. It's really disappointing, because you have real people that went through real shit that were even probably worse than what she could ever imagine, and you're sitting here trying to be this poor me victim, and there are real people going through this shit. You know what I mean? It's like, if he was that bad of a man, wouldn't you want him off the fucking street and into the jail cell so he can't hurt somebody? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
And I think it's real. Okay, so there's like a fine line, because I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. So at what point? Okay, so say this has been their relationship, and it's about being dominated. Oh, she's a little white woman and he's the big black guy, and that's kind of their angle, and that's what they, what their relationship is, and it's consensual. At what point is it like, okay, now I just don't, at the end of our, at the tail end of our consensual relationship, I just don't want to do this anymore all of a sudden. But this has been the ongoing, this has been us for 2 years. So it's like, I don't
No,
know. I
it's
haven't seen anything that came out to where she literally, other than, well, I don't want to be choked. Like, come on, bro. Even that sounded like role play. Because if somebody tell me they're going to choke me, what? You going to do what? Okay, hold up. Nah, that's a
Nah,
whole
facts
different
though.
type of thing. So that
She was too
sounded like,
calm, too chill.
Yeah,
that sounded like some role play.
thing is this.
Like, I'm
I
telling you.
hear you, but the thing is, though, from her side and his side, they both desperate. They both desperate. Like you settle for to try to be with or do stuff with a woman on OnlyFans. Like, bro, you desperate, bro.
Okay, wait. You can't say, hold on, let me stop you
yeah,
there real
Hey,
quick.
that's
we
a
ain't
You
hell
gonna
of a
can't
say
do
reach,
that.
that
bro.
to, because saying that,
That's a hell of a reach.
making that statement is like you stepping on. I mean, that's the hustle. People do that. Shoot, I don't do it personally. That ain't my steez. But I know females who do, but they still won't turn around and do something like that. They still got morals. You know what I'm
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
So I wouldn't say do something with a female who does the OnlyFans, because we've definitely seen worse.
Man, what are you talking about? They desperate.
No, I don't think
How,
that's desperate. I don't think that's desperate at all. I feel
yeah,
like
how do
you
you think
wanna.
that that's desperate?
You could say like they desperate in a way, but honestly, I don't think Shannon was really desperate. Like he just made a dumb decision, and she probably was desperate for the money. Like she probably had it made up in her mind already. Like, oh yeah, I'm.
She was going for it. What?
Yeah, well, she
She's
said in one of
19.
the messages, she said in one of the things, she says, "I want you to put a baby in me."
Like
What did he say? Baby
That's a
gravy.
check. That's an 18-year check.
like
That's an 18-year check. She should have just went
how
for a
is it
baby.
that a Hall of Famer with millions of dollars in the bank, how is it that he's desperate?
Because he's moving in his lust. And like I said before,
That
most men,
doesn't make him desperate.
you gotta let me speak.
I'm gonna
Most
let
men
you speak. Go ahead.
that cannot does not have sexual discipline. That's a big problem, bro. Why don't you have a wife, man? Go get your wife. Why you gotta
Okay.
these
Maybe because he like cracking 20-year-olds. Maybe.
I
Well, this
Yeah,
is
mean,
that's a
what
fact.
happens when you crack 21.
You know, I mean,
This is what
he
happens.
was married. He was married at one time, right? This man, this is a Hall of Famer. He's been out of what? He got into the league in the early '90s. He's been in this world since the '90s.
He's seen the
He's
progression
done
of it.
he's done everything that somebody could do. He probably been married 2-3 times. You know what I'm saying? So why get married? Man, I'm kicking it. So
and he shouldn't have
how does
to.
that make him desperate?
Yeah,
I don't
nah,
think he should have to
that doesn't
get.
make him desperate at all. But at the end of the day, like at the end of the day, like that's like his daughter. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, okay. So I agree with that. I feel like, why can't he
That's
be a
desperate.
single man doing what he wants to do? Because he shouldn't be required, just because he's a Hall of Famer with all this money. He shouldn't have that requirement. Oh, you got to have a wife to be able to get your rocks off how you want to get them off. No, if you want to, if you want to mess with multiple people, that's on you. However, I don't think that makes him desperate. I don't think him messing with a 19-year-old makes him desperate. I think him not covering himself like he should have makes him a dumbass. So I
Yeah,
think those are two different things.
he's definitely reckless, but I don't know. I don't know if I would say that he's desperate.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah, I
shows
don't
that he
think
has a
Does
so.
type,
him
though.
messing with the 19-year-old make him anything?
I
It
don't
just
know.
shows
Now I
that he
will
has a
say,
type.
it is
I
me
mean,
personally.
he
Weird.
pay he
He probably got a
what it
type.
means is
That's
that he
bad,
like to
but
pay for it.
Yeah,
That's
me
all it means to
personally,
me.
but
I think that it is
but
kind of a little
you don't gotta get
predatorial. I
19 to
feel
pay
like it's
for
a
it.
little predatorial for a 56-plus-year-old man to date somebody younger, like younger than your
She's
daughter,
a
like
sex
that.
worker. I don't think that
But
they're
listen, let me
boyfriend
break it down.
girlfriend.
It doesn't matter.
Like like
Date,
There are
crack,
older sex
whatever,
workers.
pay for
You gonna get
For
a
whatever.
millions
young.
of
I feel
dollars,
like
like you said,
it's
millions of
too
dollars, and he
too
choose a
close. There's a
19-year-old.
fine line, and I feel like he could potentially. One could say, I'm not saying this is what I'm saying, but one could say, if it was under different circumstances and she didn't do OnlyFans and the relationship wasn't based on being dominated in that way, I feel like one could say he used if it was a different circumstance, he used his status and his age to kind of not manipulate her, but like, what's the word?
He paid
Maybe
for it. What?
Pray.
He wasn't
well, like
manipulating nothing.
pray on
Yeah,
her,
money
not
was
manipulate,
manipulating.
Hold on,
not
bro.
manipulate, but pray, because
Bro,
there's so many females.
that's desperate. I don't care, bro. I'll never spend on no cat. No, that, that's a good.
Hey,
That's
it ain't tricking if you got it.
don't get married, man.
Come on, man.
It ain't
Like,
tricking if you got
That's
it.
your personal, but that's
Come
your
on,
personal
man.
preference, bro. That's
We
your
being
personal preference.
disingenuous here, man.
No,
I don't think
Right
it's
on the cradle.
desperate.
for real though,
no,
it's
Cradle
I'm
There's
with
like
the
just
plenty
for
of
real.
prayer.
other people who do it though. There's plenty of cougars. When I look at cougar, older women be doing the same thing. To be honest with you,
And
Drake
they
getting
ain't no
slandered for
better.
this.
They ain't no better.
But on
Drake.
Shannon's
Okay,
part,
Drake
Drake
and
getting
Billy
Hey, I do got
slandered
Bobby.
for
another clip.
this.
Come on
Hey,
now.
but
hey.
like
Niggas
on
went
Shannon's
crazy.
part,
Hey, I do got another clip I'm gonna play. This is from Mommy 3. This is what she posted.
I don't mean any harm, but that white girl, she gonna get every million she asking for. It's like this female collected evidence on you like she was working for the Fed. She stood by your side with all of this since, well, I think it was 2023. And you thought that white gal was gonna let you hit on her and do all this. You know it was for a reason. You know that girl stayed for a reason. And she told you to put a big black baby in her? Y'all, those text messages was so wild. And the fact that he's the one who released it. Who is your lawyer? Cause those text messages didn't prove anything. Cause guess what? That white girl, that price that she gave you, she ain't gonna give to them white men. She said it was so much money per cheek. She knew she couldn't get out. She knew she couldn't get that out of a white man. She knew she couldn't get it out your black ass. I don't know why black men don't realize, boy, you a fantasy. That's all you will ever be. And the reason why them white women fool with y'all is because a white man that they want, they can't get. So they know y'all like them. Y'all like them like the lighter the better. The lighter the better to a black man. So it's easy to get y'all. It's easy for a white woman to get a black dude. That's so easy to do. It's so easy for a white woman to get a dumb, slow ass black man.
She tripping. Like what? Come on, man. It's so she's saying that white girl can't get white men that's in the same position. I'm pretty sure she was doing the same thing with some other white celebrity that got bread too. The shorty is a sex worker on OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? So whoever can pay for it, if they got the money for it, they gonna pay for it if they want it. That's the advantage of having the bread. So just because it's a black man or a white man, who cares? She's a they're paying to have sexual intercourse with her. It's a fantasy that they have.
but yo, like
Nah, I think
on
race
Shannon's
plays a big part of it. I disagree.
Well, no,
look, yo,
of
on
course
Shannon's
race
part,
plays a part of it because this is it's a BBC. It's Shannon Sharpe.
what
You know
is
what I'm
that
saying?
supposed
So
to
of
do?
course,
What?
I'm
You
Paul,
said
no
what?
Diddy, man.
Okay,
It's
you gotta
Come
say
Wednesday,
on,
man.
man.
pause.
It's
Yo,
It's
Wednesday.
like 2 days in a row, man.
nah, you tripping, yo.
No, I'm saying, but that's the gimmick
Yo,
of it, right? If she's on OnlyFans, she's a sex worker. They just said the whole they just played with the whole corn title, right? So this is a world that they are in and that they're behaving in. So you got to put yourself in that same position. Like it's like, come on, man. Like
Nah.
we being fake here, man.
Nah,
I
Nah,
feel
I don't
like
nah.
we
think
Out
it's
of
being
being
all
fake.
the
I don't think it's being fake.
Nah, it's not
Nah.
being fake, bro. And it's not being fake because on Shannon part, out of all the sex workers that's out there, bro, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We can't use that as an excuse,
bro.
bro.
What does that mean, bro? What you mean? What does that mean?
As a 56-year-old man,
I
you
think his old ass should have known better than to mess with that young
absolutely.
19-year-old sex worker.
he could have got an
On
older
God.
sex worker. That's what
The
I'm saying.
title
Like,
probably
No,
why
was
did you
set up
do
his
this?
too.
his
But
On
old
God.
his ass got
that
an
goes
AARP
against the
membership. You ain't
fantasy.
telling me,
Right?
you are
that
not
goes
telling me
against
that that man did not know better. He
Of
knew
course
better,
he
or
knew better.
he should have made sure that he laid his cards out right to where, like I said, okay, you could try to dispute an NDA all you want, but baby, you still sign your name on this paper. This shit's still notarized.
I'm gonna
Okay,
tell you like this. It don't matter if you black, white, Asian, persuasion. It don't matter if a woman or anybody sees a check walking around and they have the opportunity to get that lick, they're gonna get it anyway. The impossible they were gonna get it.
all I'm
So it don't
saying,
that,
That's
like
true.
most of the
I
time it's black men.
see,
Most of
but
the time it's
hey,
black men. Just saying.
No,
but
it's not, man. Come
Yes, it
on,
is.
man.
It's
Okay, so
really
what
not
lawyer?
though.
What famous lawyer? Okay, what famous
You're
lawyer or
only
actor?
exposed. You're only exposed to the what
Yeah.
happens to the black men.
That's a fact.
Like
That's
you're
definitely a
not
bigger spotlight.
exposed to what's happening in the white community.
That was captured.
because
Like, come on,
the white
man.
community does get pretty bad. But
Yeah,
they, but
Come on,
Listen,
man.
I
The white,
mean,
come
listen.
on,
there's some
man.
pretty bad scandals out
They
there from.
into some whole other shit.
They it's okay.
Come
I'm
on,
not
man.
saying it
Come
ain't
on,
bad shit
man.
happening in the white community. That's not the
That,
wrong. That's not
that's
what
what
I'm
it sounds like you
saying.
saying.
Okay, well let me clear this up for you then. What I'm saying is his old AARP collecting senior citizen ass should have known fucking better. That's
So
what I'm saying, and I stand on that 10 toes.
you said that it's mostly black men, right? But then before you said, oh, it's mostly these white girls doing this crocodile tears. No,
No, what I said was pause because you're not about to twist my words up, baby boy. What I said was there's no weapon stronger than a white woman's tears in America, is what I said. So, yes, when it involves a black man of his stature and a white woman goes crying wolf, 9 times out of 10, the media is going to eat that shit up. It's going to cancel out deals they got, it's going to fuck their money up. And then what happens after that? I'm not saying they win every time. I'm not saying that the lawsuit or whatever ends in the judgment that works in the white woman's favor. But what I'm saying is this shit happens time and time and time and time and time and time again. So when as black men are you gonna learn? That's what I said.
it's a small percentage that let white women mess up their money though.
yeah. Hold on. When it comes
Okay,
to the black woman, right? Guess what? Who's coming to the rescue? The sisterhood. Yeah.
the black woman, what does that have to do with anything? I'm confused. What are we talking about?
This was the other way around. It's
Talking about.
favor, as always.
If this was the other woman, wait a minute, you're telling me if this was the other way around, black woman would be working in the black woman's favor?
The sisterhood would become the saver. Like they always.
Yeah, y'all was applauding Tracy. Tracy was
What?
literally
Oh
saying,
no! Don't put y'all on a foot. Okay, let me let me back it up. I don't want
what's
to.
your name? Shay,
Mama
you
Shay.
know you was
Okay, but don't put y'all on nothing. Y'all don't have to do with nothing. I agree. Black women, black men, whatever color, whatever, you preying on younger individuals, it's crazy and predatorial. I still
Yeah.
feel the same way. I feel like you
No.
should not be dating over a certain age range. It's crazy, especially when you got kids that you either came out of your nuts or your womb. That's older than them. You should not be dealing with them. That's crazy because you wouldn't want your daughter, your son dealing with the same type of situation. So why would you? That's how I look at it.
nope.
But at the end of the day, I feel like wrong is wrong. I'm not saying I'm gonna side with a black woman just because she's black. I don't side with Tracy Ellis Ross. I don't side with her. I'm saying what I'm saying and I'm standing on it. Okay. Don't twist my words up. That's predatorial, but at the end of the day, if he was going to do that, if he was going to play out his fantasy and mess with a sex worker, somebody who does OnlyFans, somebody who has nothing to lose, if he was going to willingly pay out money, first of all, I'm not paying you not a fuck thing if I don't have my paperwork in line. If I'm paying you $50,000 per cheek, oh baby, this NDA gonna be signed every single multiple times if it gotta be.
You say no, even though I don't like what Shannon Sharpe did, right? But you will say on his part it's predatorial, but y'all never want to look at the other part where, from her point of view,
She's an opportunist. Absolutely. What are you talking about? Of course she's an opportunist. What the? Absolutely, 100%.
Talking about.
Realistically, they're both opportunities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just all it is. It's if they're both again having consensual sex, and we're both doing this with the same want and desire to get this, fantasy out, then yeah, they're
But it's
both
not.
opportunities.
It's not the same want and desire.
Says, on the one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his lawyers claim that the case filed by Jane Doe is meritless. Yet, on the other hand, they now have disclosed that Mr. Sharpe offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing not to file her lawsuit. That is true. Statement. Jane Doe was in fact offered $10 million to settle, but rejected that offer, choosing instead to proceed with litigation. Sharpe's team is now trying to discredit and dox her. Sharpe and his team are now, as anticipated, also attacking me. We are not going to be deterred by these tactics.
If he had his ducks in a row,
I don't know.
he would have never
Offering
had
that
to
10
offer it.
was a little shifty. I'm just saying.
What's that Boondocks episode? That is guilty. That's what it looked like. Offering $2 million beforehand. But I get why he did it.
Is it guilty though?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. I was just playing right there, but I understand why he offered it to say, but still,
it's to keep it under wraps. It's like, man, this is gonna, if this gets out, this is gonna affect a much bigger deal that I got on the table. Right. So you know what? I know you on bullshit. So you know what? Here, shut up. Don't say nothing. Take this. You know, it happens all the time.
All the time,
in Hollywood.
Hush money.
It happens all the time. So I don't know why when we see this is like, oh, it's true. It's not true.
Okay, for the record, I was just playing with that guilty
all
state.
that it is you know what? I see you on bull. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want it to smear my image,
reputation,
my reputation, what I got going on right now. So here, take this little petty ass 10 and go about your way.
Sure. Now, if he get found, like, you know what I'm saying, if he in the wrong, that whole $100 million deal might go out the window. Forget 50.
But I think to the public eye, the reason why they're putting emphasis on him even offering that in the first place is to make the public think that, oh, he offered this, he must be guilty. Yeah. That's why her lawyer put that out.
Well, yeah,
that was their tactic for putting that out. So yeah, I mean, I don't agree. I think that, I mean, I agree. I think that, it's better to get it out.
Or is he offering 10 million because after this one hit the fan and go a little deeper in, more might come out? More. Well,
when it comes to that, you don't never know.
If he's paying for this girl again, this man has been in the game since the 90s. I guarantee you, he been paying for pussy for a long time.
Okay, this ain't his first rodeo.
This is not the first time that he's doing it.
Yeah.
So even
probably the first time you've seen the back end of it. At the end of the day, wrong is fucking wrong, bro. Like what? Like if this is what you agreed to do it. But if it gets to a certain point, right? Because one can also, let's look at it from a different perspective as well. One can also argue that you might agree to do something, but then as you start to kind of get into it, you start to feel like, I didn't really understand what I signed up for. So one can argue that argument, but that's why it's very important to kind of know. It's really important to know like what you're getting yourself into. On both.
Not in this case. I don't think in this case. For her, from her standpoint, no. You said those text messages. You said black baby gravy and all that. You said put a choker on. Like those were your words, not Shannon. So, baby, you knew exactly what you were getting into, and you knew how to get money out of that, that black man.
They both.
Well, this is what happens with lust. I mean, this is where lust gets you. You live a sinful life. You got to reap what you sow at the end of the day on both sides. Because
I think he's just a dumbass for not covering. Listen, y'all have heard my standpoint. So I'm gonna stop talking so y'all can breathe. Y'all can talk. But my standpoint is he just should have made sure there's plenty of people of his stature that have people sign NDAs prior to getting into these situationships that turn sour. I mean, contracts could have been signed, NDAs could have been signed. Shit, you could have set a price. You're not going to be charging me $50K per cheek, baby girl. That's not what we agreed to.
That's why he was paying her $50K per cheek. Like y'all missing the whole.
But no, you can't say that's why he was paying her $50K per cheek, but then say, oh, there's no paperwork. He didn't really cover his ass for real. No,
because
that's
he
not.
didn't care. You know,
Okay, well,
clearly he didn't care. It was I'm gonna pay you this money, and we gonna do what we gonna do.
but that's his ignorance. How could you say you didn't care? But again, I go back to the fact of you counseling other athletes, black athletes younger than you that are in these situations, and you're telling them literally what I'm saying. You're telling them have NDAs. You're telling them cover their ass. You're telling them not to put themselves in these situations. But now all of a sudden, when it comes to Shannon Sharpe, you don't give a fuck. No, that's not how that shit works. So you knew better. You just didn't do better.
Why is it that that's not how that works?
Okay, so you knew better. You just didn't do better. So now you're in the predicament you're in. So really, ain't no, you're a dumbass. There's no, I mean.
So what? He got what he wanted.
And so is she gonna get what she wants too.
Like that's like I think y'all missing the point of
Ray
that.
gonna get what she want.
No, he got more than what he wanted. He got more because if he got what he wanted, she would have took that 10 million and shut up.
All right, I'll see super chats real quick. Brando with the $4 super sticker. Thank you. Chris Reed, $5 says, man, why Rihanna still Chris Brown after being Chris Brown?
What you mean?
Mills 36 $2 says gotta pay the price to be the boss chicken 101. The Will, remember for 38 months says first circle jerk pause.
No, that was definitely a pause.
$32 that shit I just did the $40 special.
The $40 special would have been easier.
$2 said this is extortion. She couldn't play the long game. And Brando with the $5 super sticker. Thank you. Thanks for all the donations. Appreciate y'all, man. Let me go ahead and run a little bit of this.
And you get an umbrella policy.
Yeah.
No, that BBC line was outrageous. I'm not.
Say what you want to do.
Hey, we grown over here, man.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of this clip, man, from Stephen A. Smith. This is his co-worker on ESPN, First Take, 2 days a week.
Colleague at ESPN and my friend. The Hall of Fame tight end was sued on Sunday by a woman proceeding under the name Jane Doe pseudonym. The 13-page civil complaint filed in Nevada alleges that Sharpe committed assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. The plaintiff alleges Sharpe sexually assaulted her several times at the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025. The suit also alleges that Shannon engaged in the intentional infliction of emotional distress. It should be noted that the suit was filed by attorney Tony Buzbee. This is the same attorney that filed a suit against Jay-Z and P. Diddy, alleging they both sexually assaulted a minor, which has since been withdrawn. Jay-Z also has countersued Buzbee. By the way, the plaintiff in the Sharpe civil suit is not the woman heard in the accidental Instagram live stream incident that made headlines last September of last year. In response to the suit, Shannon and his legal team went to social media yesterday and released a series of allegedly sexually explicit text messages between him.
Let me get your guys' thoughts real quick. Do you guys think his legal team is doing a good job? Would you guys have released all information that's been released thus far?
I don't think. I think his legal. I think. Well, we can't blame the legal team, right? Because a person can tell you not to do something and you still do it. Like, you know what I mean? So we don't know. I don't want to speak on his legal team because they could be telling him, or he could just be doing stuff and then not telling them, and then you know what I mean. So it could be a factor of things that.
I would have kept some of that in the clip. I would have kept some of that in the clip for like. Don't release all your ammo at once.
But it could just be Sharpe. It could just be Sharpe posting.
Well,
he might be trying to jump in front of
get rid of it before they find it anyway. So let me
that's
do
true.
it
If it
all. You know what I
aligns with her
mean?
content, if it
He
aligns
probably
with
was
her
so
content,
scared of what she had that he was like, "Let me just."
Oh yeah, it makes
you know
his case look better.
Crazy evidence.
Jumping in front of it.
Yeah.
If it aligns with her content, this isn't.
Yeah, because at the same time, it could be something could be happening, right? Like he could be trying to jump the gun.
Yeah,
make sure. So it might have been a strategic move. Yeah, I think it may have been strategic to show what type of like relationship they had in the first place.
Yeah.
Exactly. And all this is just transparency. I think that this is the best route to go because, of course, before they go to court, you're going to go through the public opinion of where they're going to put you through trial through that. So if it's already to where people are like, they read in like, you know what, this sound fugazi. This
Right.
woman is lying. It's not even going to make it to court at that point, because then
Yeah.
they got to pull out of it. So I mean, it makes all the sense in the world. And even to the point of Stephen mentioning back in September with the live thing, you know, that didn't put a dent in his reputation.
Yeah.
You know, that gave him more ammo to sell the little pill that he was selling. So I think that is probably the best move that he could have made.
I agree.
Yeah.
Something.
And
Yeah, I think it's smart. I think it's smart. Yeah, it's smart.
I feel like he still could have held something, just held him back.
he probably
put out way
does.
too
He
much.
probably has more. He probably has a whole
It's
lot
true.
more that
Yeah.
if things escalate or blow up, he's probably like, all right, let me just quick scope it real quick. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we know what it is. She's trying to get his money. She's trying to get his money. We all see it. And you know, I hope that justice gets served.
Absolutely.
I need a little bit more of this clip.
Tony Buzbee sent TMZ Sports a 1 minute and 36-second clip of an alleged conversation between his client and Shannon. In response to that clip, Shannon Sharpe went back to social media and issued this response. Take a look.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly, on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Well,
I actually like Shannon Sharpe too, which is kind of sad that this is happening to him.
Hey,
But you know,
hey, just know that sex tape is wild. If
I ain't never seen it. Probably won't. I'm good.
no, hey, just off of his response, you know, his
Yeah.
statement from it, like, man, this
I bet it. I bet it fits everything.
Hey, it's
but you gotta
giving
see the rest of
big
it.
black BBC dominating little white. That's what it's giving. Okay, they probably got dog collars and
Damn,
all.
Shannon. Damn.
Sheesh.
Oh man.
I mean, he seemed very transparent with it though.
It's a sad
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
I can't deal with Stephen A.
Shannon
Sharpe.
Sharpe
Very dramatic.
is somebody
Very
got to work with a
passionate.
couple of days a week.
To be honest, I was kind of surprised he said something, but it looks like he is careful about what he's saying.
Yeah.
And he even states in there during this monologue that he did that there's certain things he can speak on and certain things that he can't. But it did suggest, again, that he talked to that Disney guy, which is the head person, and you know, they're prepared to do what's necessary depending on the outcome of the situation. So that's why I think this is really serious, because he brought Shannon Sharpe in hopes that they can continue to be the #1 sports show. And now that this is happening, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
And I would hate for other people. I think I seen something saying another person might have came up, or that's usually how it happens, right?
There's more victims.
I'm like, everybody's a victim when their money on the line.
Exactly.
So it's kind of really hard to say who's victim and who's not. And this may not be, allegedly, this may not even be a circumstance where she was a victim. This may just be a money grab, but it does make you think, for the people that are watching, it does make you think about the situations you put yourself in, because it can come back to bite you, and especially somebody of his stature. I could see if it was something he done over 30 years ago and it came back, but this is something that he did while he had the status.
Yeah.
And then to go all the way back at that age is like, bro, come on, like it just don't look good. Even if it's not what it seemed to be, it just doesn't look good. But we've all made some mistakes, so who am I to say, right?
Agreed, though. Agreed, Lapeef. Like, we all have a past. I think that, but at the end of the day, we all got to answer for our shit, you know. And I think that this woman that is accusing him, if this shit ain't real and this shit ain't serious, that she should be, there should be justice on her, because we got to get to a point where we just can't allow certain shit anymore. This whole cancel culture. Yeah, like this whole cancel culture for shit needs to apply to the people that are actually doing this shit. Because at the end of the day, to be able to sit up there and extort 50 million out of somebody like that is outrageous. That is outrageous.
But you have to understand at the same time, what are you canceling? She don't got a fuck thing to lose. What, she gonna lose some OnlyFans subscribers?
Well, no,
like,
ain't
she
no
getting the cash up front anyways.
There's no cancel. It should be you're going to jail.
It should be that way. We could absolutely argue that.
Extortion is a felony. You should be going to the feds for
But I think we're so far from that. I don't think that that's going to be the reality. It hasn't been the reality in how 18 years since the beginning of time. It has not been a reality, and I don't think it's going to start with her. I don't think she's going to be the example.
Well, no, it has been a reality, because they've been doing that to men. They'll do it to men. They'll lock up men for extortion and all this other shit, but they're not doing it to women. What with Johnny Depp with his ex-wife?
Yeah,
she walking free,
and that's crazy. And she absolutely shouldn't be. But
she moved to another country.
Yeah, so
they tried.
You look great. Love your ears.
I do want to highlight this comment from Sweeney. He said that he is most definitely a victim if she's claiming to be that he sexually assaulted her. So what do you guys think about that? So I didn't really grasp that. That is one of those hard allegations to be put on you, man. Especially if it's not true. So now she's playing with his entire life. You say things like this.
I think the reality of their relationship has been the dominatrix thing, and she likes to be dominated, and that's their angle that they've been, operating on for the past 2 years. So it'd be very difficult to if that has been what you guys have been doing, it's going to be very difficult for you to say, oh, this time in January 1st of 2025 was great, but this has been us our entire relationship. I feel like that's difficult to prove anyway, but yeah, I don't know, man. He should have covered his ass.
Well, he should just stop. He should just stop messing around with 19-year-olds. Is what he needs to stop doing. Get himself someone that is as his age that can consent to certain
things.
But
it doesn't matter. But Callie, it doesn't matter if she was 19 or not.
A 25-year-old would do the same thing. A 30-year-old would do the same thing. A 50-year-old would do the same thing. Somebody that's motivated by money is going to do whatever dirty deed it is that they're going to do, regardless of how old they are.
You're right.
We come on, man. Y'all gotta.
No, you're right. But at the same time, it's just that, like, I don't know. The only reason why I'm doing is because she's 19. Like, if she was 25, 30, whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's like
that doesn't mean nothing, Callie. That doesn't mean nothing.
If she was 25, if she was 30, everybody will be saying the same.
No, what I'm saying,
but I think it'd be a little bit different. I think it would be a little bit different if she was older. If her brain was fully developed, maybe, just maybe, it might be a little bit different.
Her brain isn't fully developed.
Let me get Aisha.
No, clearly it can't be. It can't. You think it is?
That's a bad take.
25 to 30 scientifically. I'm just.
Hold on, y'all. Let me get Aisha in there. She just came to the panel. Go ahead, Aisha. What you got on this?
Hey, I think that she was planted. I think I'm always putting on my Tan Kofi hat. I think that the industry has this thing. This man has this huge contract. And I think almost like R. Kelly, like, people know what you're into. People know your little kinks, your little niches, people walk around the industry, your managers, these people know you like certain women. These people know you be on OnlyFans, because how do you encounter certain men? I'm not just gonna walk up and be with Shannon Sharpe. My neighbor's a white girl. She's prettier than that white girl. She's not gonna just walk up. So I feel like these people are placed in positions to do certain things. And I think that it was definitely planned out. And I definitely think that they was doing some weird shit, but he probably do weird shit with everybody. But I think that this specific lady or whatever she is, she was planted. I think this was purposely done. I don't know who he pissed off or who he upset, but I think that it's purposely done. That's my. I don't think it was just like, oh, because if he's doing this, he's been doing this. She not the first 19-year-old, 20-year-old girl he done messed around. He's been doing this, and someone knows about it, and someone put a bug in her ear, and that's just my take on it. I don't agree with dating someone that's 20 years old when you're 54. I do believe that that frontal lobe has not quite developed, and you are essentially taking advantage of a woman. And I see you fellas shaking your hand, but it's true because I was a woman and I've experienced it, and I have a young daughter. So there's no way in hell a 54-year-old man is going to walk through my door.
Aisha, did you extort someone at the age of 20?
No, hell no.
Okay, then. So what are you talking about?
What does that have to do with it? Anything?
What does that have to do with it?
You just blamed it on her brain not being developed, right? But
no, I think literally a scientific fact.
Again, when you were 20 years old, did you extort someone?
21, right? You can't drink until you're 21 for a reason.
When you were 20 years old,
activities for a reason, and the fact that you men are sitting on this panel trying to act like that's okay. It's not okay for a grown ass man to be sleeping with a teenager. That's how
we are.
I think what she's saying.
Teenager.
I think what she's saying is that's not the reason that why she extorted him, but she's saying that's one of the many reasons as to why he should never fuck with her in the first place.
I feel like that's fair. But
again, y'all saying
that's what I was trying to say too. By the way,
with you saying that her brain isn't developed, fully developed. Again, did anyone on this panel extort someone when they were 19, 20?
But you're connecting those two and you shouldn't be. What she's saying is that's one of the reasons why he should never mess with her in the first place, because her brain is not fully developed. And a 56, 54-year-old man dating someone whose brain is not fully developed, 9 times out of 10, you're able to take advantage of them easier because the brain ain't developed. Exactly. However, that's not justifying that
for an attorney, somebody like Buzbee or whatever his name is, or somebody on the side to say, "Hey, do this." It's no different from if you visit a prison, if you've ever volunteered. Most of those young women are in there because they did something that their boyfriend or older man had them do. You know what I'm saying? Most of them aren't in there just willy-nilly. They're in there because they were convinced at a very young age to do something by someone else. So it's not necessarily saying he manipulated her. She was manipulated by
somebody,
outside source that was like, get the bag. Make sure you.
Why every time a woman does some bullshit, y'all always try to put a man behind?
That accountability is kryptonite.
Every time a woman does some bullshit, y'all try to put a man behind.
She was a teenager.
Whatever. If she's 18 years old, she is a legal woman.
I wouldn't feel the same.
If you're 18 years old, you can vote. You're now an adult. Essentially,
she can
this young lady set up an OnlyFans before she met him, and y'all trying to blame it. Like, come on, man.
No, who is y'all? Let me clarify. That was never my stance. Y'all know my stance. My stance is he should have had shouldn't play. If he was gonna mess with a 19-year-old, he should have had them NDAs and them contracts signed. If you dishing out $50K per cheek, baby, you should have had some sort of something legally in place that protects you because of your stature and who the fuck you are. Point blank, period. It makes you a dumbass for not doing that, yes. But you got to deal with the dumbass consequences.
If he has the receipts that I've been paying you,
he doesn't.
So he doesn't have bank statements showing that he's
maybe bank statements, but even with the tape he just referred to, he said there's going to be a tape with 30 seconds. They're going to clip 30 seconds. I don't have the tape, or I would have released it myself. And you didn't do your due diligence, baby. You're 56. You should be smarter than that, especially with, like I said, with you counseling younger athletes, younger black athletes on the same shit. You should have been smarter than that. I'm not telling you not to mess with her.
Shy, I got a question for you. Do you believe that he did that?
That he did what?
That he raped her?
No.
So why are we having a conversation about him doing NDAs when she's committing a crime?
Because he wouldn't be in this predicament to be accused of doing something like that in the first place if he covered his ass like he should have.
Why should he have?
What do you mean?
Why is the conversation?
Why does he? Hold on. Why is a grown ass man? He doesn't have to cover his ass.
That's not what I asked. That's not what I asked. You're trying to answer the question before I ask it. Why are we having a conversation about him needing to cover his ass instead of a conversation about a white woman trying to extort and claim that a black man raped her? Why is
hold on. You just got here. I did say there's no weapon stronger than a white woman's tears in America. So at the end of the day, she cried wolf. The public is going to eat that shit up, point blank, period. So, you're a black man. But my point is that doesn't mean that you could be, you still need to do your due diligence. I'm sorry. You're Shannon Sharpe. You ain't no degular person off the street that don't have shit to lose. If you have something to lose, I feel like it don't matter if you're male or female. You should be doing your due diligence. Taking care of whatever the fuck you need to take care of to make sure your money and your career ain't in jeopardy. Point blank, period.
Can I ask you why you gotta yell?
Who asked me that? Who just asked me that?
That was me. Why do you have to yell?
Why do you worry about me yelling? Maybe I'm passionate about it. Why you gotta talk so soft?
For what? No.
Why do you have to talk so soft?
I'm talking about no voice.
She got to stay on code, man.
Damn, are you mad at me yelling, or are you not making a point? What are we talking about right now?
She's just passionate about her. She's just passionate about. She's just passionate about what conversation she's having.
You mad as hell? I'm yelling, nigga. Hold on, let's be clear. You haven't made a point. You haven't made a clear point in this whole argument this whole time. Let's talk about it. So now I'm gonna clock your team for trying to come at me, baby. You ain't make a point. You said he's desperate because he wants some coochie. I'm sorry. You just said he needed to be married. He should have been married. Come on now. Cool. Get out of here. You're opinioning.
So
come on, move around.
You go with the
how y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Hi, hey.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm here. We're trying to figure out what's happening.
I'm trying to figure that out too.
No. So you're going with the rhetoric that you should be having sex before marriage.
No, I'm going with the point of you just addressing me for yelling, but you made a point. Man. Your only point in this whole entire conversation, and I will thank you very much, King. Your entire point in this whole conversation has been. You literally said he needs to be married. You said he's desperate because he went for somebody doing OnlyFans, as if that's an issue, as if there's not millions of women out here doing OnlyFans and like they don't got morals. Everybody who doing OnlyFans ain't extorting motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying. Your second point was he's desperate for messing with a 19-year-old. And your third point was he's too old. He should have been married somewhere. Bro, what? You're projecting right now. He don't got to be married if he don't want to. Your point's not making sense. So until you start making sense, don't check me about how my opinion is coming off. Thank you very much, Bookie.
Yeah, you don't piss her off, dog. I don't know what you're doing.
No.
How y'all doing?
Hold on.
Let me say this real fast, man.
Hey, can I
No. Let me talk, man. Let me take some of the heat up off of your back, brother. You need this right now. So, as far as the Shannon Sharpe thing, man, that chick's a predator too. Now, I don't know why we're not talking about she's not being a predator. She was a predator by what she was doing. She set the man up the whole way. This probably was a long game to get her money, to set him up, to ruin him. I heard Aisha say, "What is she a plant?" It could be possibly the case. That could very well be the situation. Man, these heifers are crazy. I don't care what color these heifers are. We talking about white girls. Black girls do shady shit too. And let me say this. This is the worst when black girls do it because they know the black man struggle. They know what black men go through. And somebody who supposedly look like us, who's setting us up for failure, who's setting us up for a downfall, that's the goddamn worst. So I don't expect this goddamn pink-toed, this devil to do some shit what she did. That's what devils do. You expect them to do it. You expect us to try to fuck us over. But you don't expect our own people to do that, our own women to do that. That's some crazy shit. Now, These heifers always gonna do it. Fellas, I say it all the time. Black man, protect yourself at all times. I say it for many reasons. Not just your mental, but your physical. Because, man, you got people out there looking to get you. Male, female, it doesn't matter. And Swing, I'm going to say it again. Man, they don't give a goddamn about our black ass.
Fuck about us.
I say it many times.
They don't
say
give
it
a
all
fuck about us.
I'm going to land it right there. King, go ahead and take over, dogs. Hopefully she don't wear your ass out.
They don't give a fuck about us.
No, blaming it on the frontal lobe.
I'm gonna tell you one thing though. I'm not your bookie because I have a wife. Okay. So
okay, Bookie, but Bookie, but pipe down, Bookie.
No, I don't have to pipe down nothing.
Yeah, pipe down. Are you getting in your feelings? Say a point. Say your point. Get to your point. Yeah, get to your point. What's your point?
First off, you cut me off because you're being rude.
Hey, don't slide in my DMs. Don't slide in my DMs, baby. Taking it happy over here.
You see what's really going on, dog. She putting a bid in for you. You just don't realize it yet.
But my point is, but this is my point. This is my point. You come at me. You literally come at me for yelling, and you're still not making a point. What is your point?
Because you cut old boy over here off again too, and Biz, like
I'm asking you. I'm asking you directly.
Like,
what is your point?
You ain't got no morals. You ain't got no etiquette. You ain't got.
I don't got morals or etiquette, baby. Excuse me.
You're a big problem.
Excuse me.
Actually, you know what? You act just like them. Just like them. You know what I'm talking about too.
Wait, bro. How you gonna say she don't got no morals or no etiquette? Off her opinion. That doesn't make sense.
Exactly. First of all, you don't know nothing about me. Thank you very much. Very much educated and opinionated. Right now, let me finish. Educated and opinionated. You call me queen. You address me for yelling and said, stop yelling, queen. I'm okay. You can say queen. You can say you got a wife all you want. I wasn't speaking to you. So until spoken to, don't address me. Thank you very much. Furthermore, I will call you Bookie if I see fit. I call my daughter Bookie.
You don't like what I said, huh? That's why you.
Well, if you act like a bitch, I call you Bookie. Bookie.
That's not what I am either.
I didn't tell you what. I said you act like one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a quick PSA. Lapeef is going to run a whole new clip. If we could just be quiet on the set, thank you very much. And we'll watch this clip. Don't forget to tap that screen. It don't cost no green.
Look, King, you remember back in the days, dog, our girls would mess with you. They would tease you and push on you. That's what she's doing right now, dog.
That is not what I'm doing. Let's not.
King, I'm talking to you, King. I ain't talking to her. I'm talking to you, King.
And I'm talking to you.
I got you. I got you, big dog.
Quick thing, Hannah. We are going to go quick to a new clip.
Y'all didn't see that man trying to play a goddamn clip and y'all still talking?
Still talking, but it is okay. Let's go ahead and run that back, Lapeef.
I do not feel bad for Shannon Sharpe. Actually, nail him to the wall.
Wow.
Men like Shannon Sharpe go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's how dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me? Why do you think she was fucking with your old ass? No, really. Why would a 19-year-old go after a man in his 50s who she also knows is only here for a good time? Y'all keep doing this. Y'all keep doing it. It keeps happening because y'all have spent y'all years mistreating women, and then because women have dealt with shit their entire life, you're like, that's baggage. No, that's called common sense, because a woman will no longer allow you to play with her once a woman gets to the point where she's like, wait a minute. That's when y'all want to be like, oh, she got baggage, she got boundaries. And y'all don't want women with boundaries, with self-respect. Y'all want little girls who is going to do whatever y'all want her to do for a little bit of change. You want that phone telling that girl that you're going to choke the shit out of her and that she going to like it. And now she trying to get over on you and you mad. She's in it for money. She's in it for the money. Where y'all problem is y'all think y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all get so full of yourself that you genuinely think this child wants you for real. Men like that scare me. Because what does a 56-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common? Actually, she's 20 now and he's 56 now. So a 55-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common. What? What do you have to talk about? What life experiences do y'all have to discuss?
Oh my God. Is her frontal lobe developed?
I don't think
Because
Is this
like
gonna be
what
the go-to statement every time?
life
is
experiences.
her frontal lobe developed? Because like what is she talking
It can't
about?
be.
They were
That goddamn wig
they
says
were
it ain't.
having
That
sex.
goddamn wig she got on weird says it ain't developed yet.
Like what is she talking about?
Hold on, Vince.
They were
Vince,
literally
let me
having
address something
sex.
real quick. Let me
Like
let me address something real quick. There's no tricking him out the bag. This isn't a situation where she got some money out of him by saying, "Oh, I love you," and then got him to pay for some shit and then left him. She's trying to extort him, and she's claiming that he raped her. This is a crime. This is not a situation where we're talking about some lady who just tricked a dude out of his money. If he was just getting tricked out of his money, wouldn't nobody care? We wouldn't care. There's the difference is if Tracy Ellis Ross was dating a 20-something-year-old kid, dude, and he committed a crime against her, or he robbed her blind. There is no way we would be sitting here saying, "Well, damn, Tracy, you shouldn't have been messing with a 20-year-old." The conversation will be, why is this dude robbing this woman?
No, 100%. You got to hold him accountable. Like at the end of the day, if a 19-year-old commits, serial murder or whatever the case may be, that person's going to be held to the full extent of the law. Which is why I said earlier, before more people start coming in, I said at the end of the day, what she did is wrong. And if everything she's stating is a lie, which it seems like it is, she should be prosecuted. Because guess what? In the state of California, if you say lies like that and you get police involved and you do all this stuff, you're damn near going to do. But that's also why he's filing a defamation lawsuit. He's filing a countersuit. Jay-Z did.
The funny thing is, she won't be held accountable. You want to know how I know she won't be held accountable? Because of everybody on this panel and the way that everybody's making it about Shannon.
No, we're not. No. We held her accountable and had a whole 30 minutes on her. And then we said at the same time, we also have to hold each other accountable, right? Because if I were to say my relationship didn't work out, guess what everybody would be saying? Well, what'd you do? So, there's always ways that you can't avoid everything, but there are certain things when you get a certain age where you have to move a certain way to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, we're still holding her accountable and saying she's wrong.
That's the thing, though. When I say that she's not going to be held accountable, when you said that she should be prosecuted, there's a reason why you said should and not will. Mm-hmm. Because in the grand scheme of things, the most of society is going to make it about him, and nobody's going to really truly talk about the fact that a young woman tried to extort and made a false. Nobody really goes to jail over false accusations. Nobody. So she's basically trying to extort him. How many women do we know who've tried to extort a man and make a false accusation against them and they went to jail or they were prosecuted? No, it doesn't happen
at all.
But you can do a countersuit, and a lot of men have done that. Johnny Depp did that.
What are you gonna sue her for? What is it gonna sue her for?
There's one case I know that did happen. Though.
She ain't got nothing.
There's one case I did know that it did happen. That a woman went to jail for extorting a man. Rick Pitino was getting extorted by Karen Cipher, and she went to federal prison for over 5 years. That's the only case that I've ever heard of something ever like that happen. But for the rest of the time, no, it is not.
I think this is form of legal.
Even the one chick at that college that claimed that the black football, I think it was a white girl,
I remember that.
Claimed that the black football player raped her behind the garbage cans or something like that. And that came out to be false. He did jail time, and she walked away scot-free. Nobody dragged her about it. She didn't do no fair time. This I don't understand why we in the crazy part is that we'll blame it on women not developing their frontal lobe being fully developed. It's like, come on, man. Like
I'm not.
we're dismissing
Y'all
we're
keep bringing it to a
dismissing the
grown thing.
decisions
Some
of
things
what
can be
a
true at the same
grown
time.
adult is doing.
But we're
That's
not
not
blaming it on
that's not
that.
all of the
Not a
point
thing.
though.
Like,
That's
I
not all
believe
of the
that
point.
two things can be true at the same time. She was way too young and immature for him to be in a relationship with.
He wasn't in a relationship with her.
Yeah.
He was paying
He was in a
for cheap.
sexual. He was
I
in a
don't
sexual
know where
relationship
y'all
with her.
keep getting this from. Like even the
And
chick
I
in the
think
video that we just
been
watched.
messing with her.
Even with the chick, even with the chick in the video that we just watched, she was making this idea like, what
a
is a
relationship.
19-year-old girl gonna want with a
Yeah.
55?
I'm not saying
They're not in a relationship. He's paying for
we
cheeks.
know that.
That's it.
They in
That's
a
it. That's
they
all.
in a
So
transsexual ship. They in a sexual relationship. In
I mean,
19, the
look,
fact that she
if that's the
19
case,
do matter. It don't matter all of the
Jalen Green
way
is
though.
a victim. Jalen Green is a victim of that old bitch that's having this goddamn baby. He's a victim, but y'all not crying about this heifer
He
doing
a
what she
victim
did.
and a predator
Oh
at the
no,
same
he
time.
is.
Go
Two
and get
things
that
could be
bag,
true
girl.
at once.
Y'all giving her props and credit for
Two
getting
Giving
things
who
over
could be
props
on
and
true at
Jalen
once
credit?
Green.
though.
Hold on. No,
Nah.
what's even more egregious? Hold on, Hank. Here's what's even more egregious. Will we sit here and say that Anthony Edwards' frontal lobe hasn't fully developed is the reason why that he doesn't want to be a father right now to his children? Or did y'all hang his ass a new one when he said he didn't want to be a father to his kids?
But
Nah,
that's a
it's
whole
the
different
reason why he keeps
situation.
doing the same thing. It's the reason why he keep having babies when he know it can happen from the cause.
But
Because his
nobody,
frontal lobe ain't fully developed.
but
That's the reason.
nobody's gonna call nobody's gonna call him a victim in a situation, and nobody's gonna sit here and say, "Oh, she's wrong for getting getting pregnant by a 21-year-old."
Oh, but
Nobody's
she
gonna say
is
that.
wrong.
We've been saying that. That's all over the
Two things
comments. All
is
you gotta do
true at
is go
one
to the
time. Two
comments.
things.
You gotta just go into the comments. Listen,
I'm
at
trying to
the
figure
end of
this
the day,
out.
talk about
Two
I was
years
in
accountability.
ago,
here for
y'all
that
just started.
conversation.
2 years ago, y'all just started complaining about people's frontal lobe not being developed. 10 years before that, I ain't heard y'all say shit about a motherfucker's frontal lobe.
Who's y'all?
Y'all
We
say,
bring
oh
up
man,
Y'all
he did
didn't
some
go
dumb
because
shit.
y'all didn't
Now all
search
of a
for
sudden
y'all
we
didn't
gonna
search
use
for
that
the
for a reason.
information.
You motherfuckers learn a new word now. We gonna throw it on every situation. Is that what we doing now?
Ain't no
Nice.
Man,
damn.
y'all full of shit, man.
I
Hold
don't
tight,
know. They
y'all. Hold
taught me
tight,
that
hold
in
Nah.
tight.
middle.
We can
They
play a little
taught
more
me
of this
that in middle
video.
school.
We can play a little bit more of this video.
None. And anytime, and I know men are gonna find their way in their comments like it's legal. If you have to say it's legal as a way to defend your dating preferences, you're a predator. You're a predator.
He's the predator.
That's like us saying
can't make this up.
slavery was bad, and y'all be like, well, it was legal. That doesn't make it okay. It used to be legal to beat your wife. It used to be legal to rape your wife. Does that make it okay? I mean, it's legal.
Never in the history was it
Because
legal to
y'all love to
rape
be,
your wife.
she legal, she legal,
Yes, it
she
was.
legal, she legal. And then you know what I always find so funny? When men get to, when people ask them like, well, if you had a 19-year-old daughter and a man in his 50s wanted to date her, would you be okay with that? Well, I mean, if he was gonna take care of her, and if he was gonna, no, you would not. You would not be okay with that. You would think, man, he is dirty. But for somehow y'all can reason with yourselves and think that that's okay. And don't come in the comments talk about Drea, because I think that whole dirty too. I think age gap relationships, any way you shift them, is disgusting. I think in any relationship where there is a significant difference, whether it be finances or age, there is going to be a level of manipulation. If someone has $0 and someone has millions of dollars, Power difference. If someone has decades of life experience and someone barely has any, their frontal lobe, their critical thinking skills have yet to fully develop, there is going to be manipulation involved. And it's not appropriate. Y'all be wanting to date children because if you just wanted to date someone a little bit younger than you, whatever. But if the age gap is bigger than the person's age, the age gap is bigger than the person's age, it's not appropriate. No matter which way y'all try to shake it. Oh, well, he could teach her something. She could get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get a mentor.
All right, this bitch is annoying me. Can we turn her
Get
off?
a mentor.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, listen, this is two consenting adults.
She ain't saying nothing about her goddamn
Listen,
grandmama and granddaddy.
at the end of the day,
I bet she ain't saying about her grandmama and granddaddy.
This is
I
two
bet she ain't saying not
consenting
one.
adults.
I bet granddaddy. Why you date grandmama? She 12 years. She 12 years younger than you. I bet she ain't said a goddamn thing. This kills me, man. Y'all motherfuckers learn about frontal lobe.
At the end of the day, this is two consenting adults. They made a decision, and now their decision is blowing up in their face. One is trying to extort, and then the other one, man, he just stinks with his pee-pee. Whatever. At the end of the day, this is what's happening, and it fucking sucks. But it happens all the time in this industry. It happens every day in this industry because these people, they see you have money and they prey on you, and they will always prey on you. There's always going to be snakes in the grass. They always slither fast, So, shit. I hope that, like I said, Jessica serves. If he can counter sue and take whatever left she has, it is what it is. She'll learn.
I have a question for the ladies. I would assume that you guys would agree to an extent with this because that's what it sounds like. So apparently, with it being this age gap, right? There's this huge advantage of being able to manipulate this younger person, in which, of course, yes, that does play a factor. But is it not the same way that if me and Shay, let's say we're about the same age and we're dating, we could easily manipulate each other. You could have some type of advantage as to where, okay, maybe I got a thing for red bones, right? I got a fetish for red bones. And just because you're a red bone, I'm letting you get away with a lot more things than I would for somebody that's dark skinned or something. Right. So I don't understand the correlation of just because this person is younger that they're going to be so naive to be manipulated when manipulation happens all across the board. It doesn't.
It does, but when you're younger, you're not able to see it as when you're older. That's the fact. So it's easier to prey on someone. It's easier to prey on someone that's younger.
I think she's seen it.
Even in that case, though, and I don't know if she's just being ignorant to the fact of it. But even in that case, she's literally there solely for the money.
Yeah.
She's not there to be in a relationship. She's not there to be wife bound. She's literally there for the money, and he is there for the money. So this whole manipulation conversation, I don't even know how that's even relevant in what's going on, because these are two consenting people that are there for the same exact reason.
I think if it was like a relationship standpoint, that it would be a different conversation. But being that it was not a relationship to where they're dating, that was never the story, then I think it makes it different. Like you said, he's there to get his rocks off, and she there to make her wallet bigger at the end of the day.
That's literally what I said. There were two consenting adults, and one does OnlyFans and saw a paycheck.
But I still think it still is. I mean, I agree. I do believe that manipulation can happen at any stage of a relationship, whether that be a sexual one, no matter the age, whatever the case may be. We can be the same age, and one person still get manipulated over the other. But I think just because of that age difference and the financial difference, if it was a relationship further than sex, like they were actually engaging in a relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the case may be, then that definitely would play a bigger role in it.
So I got a question though. Do y'all have any evidence that he manipulated her?
I never said he manipulated her.
Yeah.
I'm just
I said she
asking.
manipulated him.
That was
But
never
I
an
s-
argument.
Hold on. No. So
Well, no, that was your argument originally
Whose?
Who
with
said he
saying
manipulated her?
with saying that he with the
Nobody
age gap.
said he manipulated her.
Nobody said
No,
that.
with the
No.
age gap,
Y'all
with the
saying
age
with the
gap, it's
age
like
gap.
this. The game of life is easier to play mentally when you're 56 than it is when you're 20. It's simple as that. I'm 30 years old. I know life is easier to play right now as a 30-year-old than it was when I was a 19-year-old.
No,
And
the
I
reason
can get over on my 19-year-old self as a 30-year-old at any time mentally because I've experienced more. I know different things to say to make it go my way more. That's not saying he manipulated her, but a 56-year-old is able to manipulate a
But here's the
19-year-old easily.
thing though. We
But
don't
that's
have
why
no.
you need
Hold on, Hank. Here's the thing though. We don't have no evidence that he manipulated her. However, we do. Hold on, wait. However, we do have evidence that a 19-year-old manipulated a 56-year-old.
Nah.
How did that work?
I think we got evidence that 19-year-old played the game.
How is it that it could be
You notice how you're trying to change it to where you're making light of it by saying, "Oh, she's playing the game." No, she manipulated him. That's what it is. If you're recording somebody without their, if you're recording somebody without them knowing and playing this game where you're trying to put them in a position where they can potentially lose money by you making a false accusation against them, and you're doing this behind their back, that is manipulation. A 19-year-old was able to manipulate a 56-year-old to the point where
he knew it was about to happen. He knew it was bound to happen. The whole relationship, the whole sexual relationship.
Nobody sit there and think you're going to record me. Nobody sit there and think you're going to try to set me up. That's not most people's mindset.
Yeah, I think
who has that mindset?
He knew the risks of doing this. You act like you
No,
never seen the risks of doing this.
No, you can't.
But I think what they're saying is,
now,
regardless of whether or not he knew the risk, the fact is she manipulated or took advantage of how the relationship was to make him look a certain way, so that she could blow it up in his face and demand a certain amount of funds.
We just watched it. We just watched the 19-year-old.
It's one thing to try to manipulate him out of tricking him off, getting him to trick on his money, but to put some charges like SA on him, no, that's a different level.
So he's not at
that's
fault
a
at all
different
for
level
not
right
protecting
there.
himself. He's
a dumbass. I still think he's a dumbass for not taking the proper steps.
You said that that's victim blaming, man. You called me.
But at the same time, you guys on this panel, you guys hold us women accountable for when we do shit. Like when our relationships don't work out or when something happens to us, it's always
really
like,
don't.
well, what did you do to do on this pit, get in this situation, stuff like that.
When have we, Callie, when have we ever, when have we
just
ever
got called a bitch up here by this woman up here? I ain't heard none of y'all women say anything about that. So
I absolutely did.
Who called?
I did. I called. Who was it?
Girl
yeah.
called.
I said I.
Yeah. That man a bitch. I heard y'all speak up say, "Hey, sister." I didn't hear none of y'all say, "Hey, sister, you wrong for that." Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you what you did. Y'all laughed at my man King.
No, I absolutely did, because what did he call me? He said I was uneducated, I was ignorant. I'm just like the white girl that we're talking about. Yeah. So yeah, I said why are you crying? But this is about me yelling. What are you talking about? Say your point, say your piece.
What he said was, why are you yelling? And then you got upset because he accused you of yelling.
No.
Oh, that wasn't it, ma'am?
No, that wasn't just it. Absolutely not.
Okay.
I didn't get upset until he started saying,
so my question,
calling me out my name and coming for my character. So yeah, I came for his character. Absolutely, 100%.
All right, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
Like you said,
Callie, I got a question for you.
Being held accountable.
When was the last?
Didn't nobody hold her accountable for that? I didn't hear
nobody. And you didn't hold him accountable for what he said either. You sat up there and tried to say that I was flirting with him. Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, you was putting your shot in, and you know.
No, I absolutely was not.
Go ahead and do what you do.
I absolutely was not putting my shot in.
100%.
Let's get back on track. Let's get back on track. Go ahead, Sweeney.
Callie, when was the last time you seen When was the
You
last time
guys,
you seen? Hold on, Callie. When was the last time you seen a man commit a crime against a woman, and we went and on this panel you witnessed us blame her for it?
what was that show when we were watching that video? And the guy, like, he had done something and he had filed like a lawsuit or whatever and took all no, not a lawsuit. They were married or whatever. After the marriage, he wanted to go after all of her money, and y'all laughed and said, "Ha, deserves it.
What?
She should have
Oh,
this and she should have that and she
that
should have
ain't the
this."
question that I asked. I said, when was the last time you seen a man commit a crime against a woman, and we all justified the crime by blaming it on her?
Never, not on this podcast, never.
We don't do that. We don't see women get crimes committed against them and then say, "Oh man, you ain't shit because you should have had a better choice." Do we say that about relationships when people have bad relationships and they don't work out? Yes, we talk about it in that sense. But never will we sit up on this panel and blame a woman if a man's committing a crime against her, if he's raping her, if he's robbing her, if he's stealing from her, if he's hurting her, if he's harming her. We would never sit there and say, "Well, you deserve that shit because XYZ, or you should have picked better."
Well, none of us said that you deserve it. And I've said it plenty of times. I'm very specific in what I say. I didn't say he deserved it. I said specifically, I said that's wrong of her to do that. And at the same time, too, because he's a certain age and in his status, it's very important for him to move a certain way that'll prevent certain situations or help him prevent certain situations. But when you're moving around reckless and you're slinging dick everywhere, there's going to be issues that happen with that, issues that cause that. Now, am I saying that he's a horrible person and he's wrong and this, that, and the third? Never said that. I'm saying you got to move smart and you got to be careful because this doggy dog word, we know how it is out here in the entertainment industry. It happens all the time. She is still wrong. She still needs to be held accountable. He still needs to countersue, and whatever else he can get out of it, if everything she's saying is a lie, should still happen. But at the same time, we're also all adults, and we can't just be all on like there can't be two sides every story, or there can't be two rights and two wrongs. That's just not going to happen.
Hey, look, I'll be the first one to say that Shannon's moving bad. He's moving bad. I don't agree with how he's moving. He shouldn't be moving like this. He's too mature. He's too old. He done been too far in the game too long to be moving like this. I agree with that. But what I don't agree with is these allegations that she is bracing on. She's not even charging him criminally. She went straight to the financial side. She said, "Well, I'm not even gonna charge him criminally, even though I may feel like he SA'd me. Oh, fuck that. I'm going straight for the back." That lets me know what type of woman he is, where she stands and how she moves. Now, he did wrong for dealing with this heifer. He dead wrong for dealing with her. Once he seen her moving like that in a little shade, yeah, he should have got out of there, but he didn't. Maybe because that cootie too wet. She turned it too well. She put it on his goddamn chin, and he didn't know how to act. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. Hopefully, this will be the last time it happens to him. I don't know if it's gonna be the last time because he seems like he's gonna fall for the okie doke once again. But hopefully, he learned from this lesson.
Well, there were a bunch of people that came on his podcast that said, "Be careful in how you're moving," and we're missing that too. Like, what was Monique? She
all
said
she told him to do was get with an older woman. That's all she told him. Stop dealing with younger women.
And that's what all older women tell men.
I don't think dealing with someone younger should come with having crimes committed against you.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're not saying that at all. We don't think that anybody, despite your age, should have a crime committed against you. But you also have to be able to understand that there are certain things that could potentially be prevented if you move a certain way. That's it.
You don't that's the thing. I truly believe that he understands that. He knows that. And he just don't care. I got the bread to do it. Fuck it. I'm a trick off. I think that's just the route that he's taking. Now, be it if he's telling other young men in the NFL to not do this and he's doing it, then hey, so be it. Nigga, I'm even more of an example of what not to do because you see my fuck ups right here. So either you want to be a fuck up and continue to and do what it is that I'm doing, or you want to do the opposite. So I don't.
If he was a trick, right? If he was just tricking off, right, Callie, and he was spending all his money on this girl, and then one day he find out the girl don't really like him like that. And he came back to us and said, "Oh man, y'all, man, I thought this girl was true to me, yada yada yada." Then of course we can have this conversation about, hey, bro, you know the game, man. You out here tricking off, and you over here, you look dumb out here. Well, I draw the line at is the fact that this ain't that. This ain't a instance where a man is just tricking off and losing his bread by will, and he thought that the woman might have liked him a little bit more than she actually did, or he thought that his money actually meant more than it did. That's not the situation. We have a situation where a woman is literally trying to extort him and make a false claim against him. At that point, that's where I draw the line at. I'm not gonna call a man dumb for somebody committing a crime against him. I'll call him dumb for tricking off his money, yeah. But calling him dumb because somebody committed a crime against him, even if he is dumb.
Bro, you can't even say he dumb for tricking off his money. That's his money.
Well, yeah, it's his decision. But you know what I mean? If he was to come back and complain about it, that's what I mean.
Yeah, now, right, yeah. Exactly. Now, if you complain about it, then then it's like, bro, like you know what you're doing. But he knows exactly what he's doing. So who cares?
But yeah, that's why I draw the line.
Care a little bit more. I think he should care a little bit more. If she willing to give it up for some money, she willing to do a lot more for some money. Ain't nothing. Hey, look, it might not be no limit to what she willing to do for some money. Like put charges on you for some money. So you should just avoid it.
And I'm quite sure he knows that. Again, if he's willing to drop 50K on some cheeks, come on, man. You know, like we have to look at it from his own perspective, right? This man wakes up every single day in a completely different world than anything that we can imagine for a long time. So 50K to him, that ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? So if he's blowing that off on some white girl just so that he can get a nut off, then hey, he know what he doing. Hey, I know what come with this, and I'm willing to pay for it. That's the whole point of paying for it.
I mean, and although we could say, I agree, he must not care, and that's his life to live, whatever the case may be. Could we all agree, and disagree if you don't agree, but could we all agree that somebody of his stature with that amount of money, and considering where it led to now, which is her accusing him of this XYZ 1, 2, 3, do you think that there was things he could have put in place legal wise, I don't know, NDAs, contracts, whatever the case may be, to somewhat prevent this from happening? Again, it's not his fault that somebody has committed a crime against him. Yes, that is true. However, do you think that there are things that he could have done at his age and stature and how long he'd been in the game to prevent?
Besides absolute abstinence, no.
So
besides absolute abstinence, because y'all got to think. Y'all making the assumption that only this girl or somebody this young would do this. I'm not saying that. I know. I'm just saying he is faced with these type of women no matter the age, right? So barring outside straight up abstinence and swearing off women for the rest of his life. As a matter of fact, it ain't even just women that probably come after Shannon Sharpe like this. Y'all know how many dudes be trying to get into fights with these dudes in the club or at the bars or stuff like that just because they have money. So outside of like leaving people alone and swearing off women altogether, there is nothing he would have been able to do that would prevent a woman from coming out here and saying he did something. He raped me. He did this to me. Even if he had evidence that may be able to try to prove this particular situation, that shit gets thrown out all the time. People try to doubt evidence all the time. There's nothing that would stop. Now, there's things that he could do that can probably save him after the accusation, like while he's in court. But to prevent being falsely accused, there is nothing he can do about that.
Yeah, the only thing that he could do is literally just document that, okay, I went to go see her on this day. We had sex on this day. I paid her this much, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be shown in his bank statements and hers. So on top of the conversation, on top of the fact that I'm more than positive they got more than one sex tape. So there is a long list of documents showing that this is mutual. So even if they did sign an NDA, that does, a lot of times that doesn't matter. People will still go aside from the NDA and
Cassie
break that
signed the
contract
NDA.
That's
and
Cassie
still go
signed
to
one.
the public.
And the thing is, you gotta Cassie. Now the only thing is, with
Deshaun
Cassie,
Watson did it too, but the thing is, I don't know. I mean, there have been cases where people have signed NDAs and it got thrown out because of there was something that wasn't in there or whatever technicality that the prosecutor had found out. So I can't say that it doesn't happen, that NDAs do get overthrown. It's just more very unlikely, but there are some serious cases where it's like, nah, like this is just illegal. To be honest, paying for sex is also illegal, but
you
like
can't sign an NDA for illegal activity.
yeah, you can't sign an NDA for illegal activity, so you shouldn't be. You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
at the end of
But even then, no, because you could easily say we're two consensual adults that want to have sex, and I gave her this $50K for her time, or this is a gift. I wanted to give her $50K. I'm gonna write it off. You can even write it off on your taxes. I gave this person a gift. Whole time you paid for some cheap.
You would get. Hey, bro, you're going to jail.
you can't.
You ain't getting out of that, bro.
No,
They gonna
you can write it off on your taxes.
No, you can't.
Sweetie.
Yeah, you can absolutely write it off on your taxes
You
as a
could give
gift.
somebody. You could give somebody a gift tax free, bro.
If the participating party comes out and says this is
nothing else that comes out of
if she comes out and says he paid me for sex, there ain't no, oh man, this was just I was just paying for her time. That's like you can't make people sign NDAs when you're doing illegal activity. That's why it didn't work for Diddy. It doesn't matter that he made her sign an NDA for whatever he did to her. The moment it's a crime being committed in the process, you can't make somebody be quiet about it. And then also you can't make somebody sign an NDA, or you can't do what Viz said if you're committing a crime. Like pay somebody $50,000 for their time.
Viz, you think this woman's gonna sit there and not do that? Look what she's doing now. You don't think she gonna go sit there? Yeah, he paid me for this ass. This is what. Yeah, he gave me as a promissory gift. Yeah, come on, man. We know what it is, man. Look, y'all keep saying, well, he should have got an older woman. That chick that Jalen Green got pregnant, she was an older woman.
The woman that Anthony Edwards got pregnant, older woman.
Brittany
Renner, older woman.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the age, man.
Are they frontal lobes not developed?
If these heifers are crazy and they got these crazy ass mindsets and they gonna do what they gonna do, man, it doesn't matter. Now I'm trying to figure out where was the goddamn parents at, knowing she was probably messing with this older man. What was the parents at?
Yeah.
Hank, that girl had
why didn't they have
OnlyFans.
something to say? Where was your goddamn daddy at? Why didn't your mammy say something? Let me tell you what happened.
OnlyFans.
They probably told her what to do. Yeah, they told her what to do. Yeah, I agree. I think so too.
They said we all about to get paid.
Hold on, y'all. I'm about to play this clip with Killer Cam.
First thing I took from this when I heard it was, look, he was living in California and moved to Nevada. She moved from California to Nevada too. So if somebody's being abusive to you in one state, why would you move to the next state with the same nigga who's abusing you? I don't know. Me personally, I found the red flag with that personally. And then the next thing is this sex tape that's supposedly coming out. Shannon said, put the whole 30 minutes out or 10 minutes, whatever it is. I guess there's some part in there for 30 seconds because Unc brought that up. Shannon brought that up. He said, I believe he's going to release 30 seconds of it. Whatever that 30 seconds is must be nasty and violent and fucked up. If you don't want to put the whole 10 minutes and you reducing it to that 30, it must have been WWE in that joint. Elbow off the top of the bed, off the thrower against the dresser. You white little bitch, come here, suck big black dick. Fuck you talking about? You want nigga dick? I get that part. I get it. Because I tell white bitches you want that nigga dick. But it's consensual. They agree. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I've been doing this in a different realm from him. I never made it as a professional athlete. I've been out here shaking and juggling these bitches since 20 years old. I know what you up to. I know when a bitch try to bait me in a text message to say some dumb shit. I ain't writing it back. You right. And I'm not writing nothing back. You can't get me to write a damn thing back when I see what's going on. You get what I'm saying? Then you gotta know. You gotta know. See, that's the fucked up thing. It seemed like he trusted her from the conversation I heard. You gotta read the signs like, I don't want to get choked. That ain't something you usually say. Hold on. Right. You don't usually talk to me like this. Why are you talking to me like this now? Yo, I'm gonna hit you back. Boom. And then you know when shit ain't right, you be like, when you answer the phone, they be like, hello, hello, hello. They setting up. Oh, I can hear you now. They done set the call up. You gotta read all these signs, bro. And you gotta think about this, right? This is why, and a lot of people call this nigga Uncle Tom, and he don't like black people, or this, that, and the third, et cetera, et cetera. This is why Stephen A. don't get into no shit like this. And I'm gonna say none of us is above it, knock on wood, but he knows he works for Disney. When you work for Disney, a sex tape can't be coming out like this. You can't be admitting that, 30 seconds of this shit was kind of rough. I'm letting y'all know. Shit get a little wild. But didn't he like 30 seconds get what? Yo, this Mickey Mouse in there. What you mean 30 seconds get wild? I think that Disney's getting a little more lenient because of shit like Pat McAfee, cursing at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Not just that, Shannon had a little sex tape that he admitted to, nothing visual, just vocal. So I think it's a little more lenient, and I hope that Disney does keep him. I'm rooting for him because I do believe this is a shakedown. But when you start getting the video evidence and vocal evidence and audio evidence, I should say, pardon me, and text messages and this, that, and the third, that's crazy.
Hey, I told y'all that sex tape is gonna be wild, boy. When that 30-second clip come out,
damn different.
He gonna be at that ball talking about some yes, a master.
Is she gonna be like the slave owner's wife?
Hey, the slave owner daughter. Master gonna see us. Let's hurry up. Master gonna see us.
I don't think it's gonna be that wild. I think it's gonna be 30 seconds of him choking her.
It's probably gonna be
and that's all it's gonna be. But that's the reason why he said release the whole 10 minutes, because it's the same reason like when they released the audio tape, you could tell that it was edited down, as if they was trying to remove certain parts of the conversation to make him look bad. That's what he's saying basically is. No, release the whole. If you're gonna release 30 seconds of it, release the whole thing. So relates to everything that happened before that moment, everything that happened after that moment. If you're gonna sit here and claim that I did anything to you, and you're gonna use that video, then use everything. No. Same thing with the phone call. I don't get how she wound up with the sex tape and he didn't. That's beyond me. Like, I'm like, shit. Normally, it's the men that record the damn record the session.
Right.
Well, she didn't want to do her OnlyFans.
Sneakiness. She been on sneakiness.
Which tells me we just sat here and witnessed a 19-year-old woman straight up manipulate a 56-year-old man for 2 years straight.
Yep. So that whole
Sweeney is not the way. It's not usually the way you think, Sweeney. It's not the way you think. I will tell you one thing, right? The problem with older men is this, right? When they meet younger women that they haven't met before, they trust. They trust. I've seen it. They trust those younger women. They think that the younger woman will never act like the older woman. But this is the problem. Most of these men don't know that behind that younger woman is a very corrupt man or corrupt man that will set her up. They know you're dealing with her. They will use her to get to you. Most of these girls, I will be honest with you, based on what I've seen in life, are usually very innocent. Younger women will not or 30s. in their late 20s. Anything
Wait,
older than that is
say that.
usually somebody else.
Say that again. We ain't hear that last part. I don't know
You
what the hell
muted,
that
bro.
means.
Nah, man, we in 2025. These young girls got the internet and everything else. They don't
Yeah,
need. They already tell you they don't need
I
pimp.
don't think that
Man,
it's
this
somebody behind her though. I think that it's somebody that's fueling this. I don't think that she came up with this on her own.
well, definitely because if she's using the same lawyer that was involved with Diddy and the Jay-Z extortion as well, then yeah, clearly, you know what I'm saying, she's connected to someone, or he was able to get connected with her in some way, shape, or form. Maybe dude saw them out together and he was like, man, who is that girl? Oh, she got an OnlyFans. Woo, woo, woo. And then he reached out to her, was like,
Yeah.
you know, man, I know y'all got something going on. Woo, woo, woo. And dropped the bug in her ear. And maybe that was the way that she wanted to finesse, or maybe she had this plan all along the entire time by herself. Because
Okay, I'm
y'all
back.
making it seem as if women, these young girls, especially nowadays in 2025, with the advantage of the internet, y'all making it seem as if women are not manipulative as fuck, and they understand the way that they can use their body to manipulate
Yeah.
men to get what it is that they want. So
Yeah, Vince, look at it this way, right? You're right, partially. Young women that have been through a lot, maybe like OnlyFans, those OnlyFans girls can do those things. Those OnlyFans girls can do those things, but it's not as easy as you think. Because I got to tell you,
why isn't it?
I have witnessed this a lot among my friends, older guys with younger girls, and due to when I was younger, guess what? I know a lot of guys that use older girls to extort rich men. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand, for a younger girl that age to be able to conquer those things is beyond her level. It's usually a man behind her.
You was a young man 40 years ago, bro. We living in a whole different world.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, you don't know how predatory men are. Men are very predatory. That men, let me tell you this. You see scammers online.
Bro,
this is what a lot of people. Excuse me, guy. Let me land. You see one thing that men don't understand. When you go online and see women that are beautiful, and you try to get to these women, and they're trying to get money out of you, let me tell you, most of those times they are not women that you see in those pictures doing that shit. It's men. Those are usually men behind the screen, using women's image. And men also use very beautiful women to extort men all the time. All the time.
You're out of touch, bro.
That's not the situation, though. It's not the situation, though.
We're in 2025 where this young woman is on OnlyFans. And if she was able to bag Shannon Sharpe, I'm quite sure that she's making a lot of money on there with a lot of followers, and she's already manipulating a lot of men.
She's making a lot of money. I don't doubt it. But let me tell you this: a girl that is making $50,000 every time she has sex with a man will not want to burn that bridge. Somebody got to her. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, bro.
But I think we also live in a time where it's like you hear like, even the music we listen to, the City Girls or just different high stature females or whatever, talk about how they get at men with money, how they, that's the reality of it. So I do agree. I think that I think it could be done on her own. I think she did set him up on her own. But
you guys are saying this.
It's being done on a day-to-day basis. It's 2025.
Yeah, I know it's 2025. You don't know how naive a 21-year-old girl is, a 20-year-old girl, no matter what. Let me tell you, have you ever heard $50,000? No, I'm coming. Have you ever heard?
bro.
I understand she's a holy fan. She don't make any money. Those girls don't make any money on holy fan. But let me tell you something.
Are
Have you
you
ever held
serious?
50?
Wait, no,
Hold on.
OnlyFans.
No, you out of touch, dog. You out
Okay,
of touch.
okay.
You,
Listen to me, brother. Listen to me for a
you
minute.
out of touch, bro.
Have you ever held $50,000 cash in your hand? Have you ever held 50,000?
What does that have to do with her? What does
Okay,
that have to
okay,
do with it?
okay. See where I'm heading to. If you ever held $50,000 cash in your hand, you got to understand that $50,000 cash goes a very long way. And for a girl that age, she would not want to fuck up $50,000 every sexual encounter.
That is a
But if
flat
she's
out
already
lie. Are you
making, if
serious?
she's already making money, Google is free. You could Google and see somebody's net worth, how much money they make, etc. So she could have preyed on him when he went in
Yeah,
the gym.
you could go to Vegas and blow off 20 grand easily within 4 hours.
No, Vince. His argument is that since she was already getting 50 grand out of him, why would she fuck up the 50 grand if it's gonna do her right? Because she can get 50 million. That's what she tried to extort him for.
Right.
She can get 10 million.
Right. She got greedy. Exactly.
She got greedy.
It don't require no man behind a woman to tell.
Sweeney, y'all remember the case? Y'all remember the case I just sit there and said the one woman that did get locked up for torture was Karen Cipher. She was about to get paid. She tried to get greedy. She supposedly had Rick Pitino's baby. She deleted it. I'm like, why? If you really had his baby, why would you delete the baby? That's your meal ticket right there. Instead, what she tried to do, she said she deleted the baby. She realized she messed up when she did it, so she got greedy and said, "Well, I want more money." He was already paying her. He just wasn't paying her that much. She wanted her one up at the same time, and then it cost her.
And she
He
like, think
called
about
the
it.
feds and it cost her.
This 21-year-old girl might not have, like, think about how often women will sit there and be like, well, if I can get one lump sum, I ain't got to deal with him no more. She had to sleep with him to get the 50 grand. But if I could go and get 20, I could sue you for 50, but I only get 10, I can leave you alone for the rest of my life and I'll be straight. I don't have to sleep with Shannon Sharpe. Pause. She don't have to sleep with Shannon Sharpe anymore to get 50 grand because she got 10 million out of him.
Right.
It don't take a genius to think of that. You can be 19, 20, 21 and come up with that plan.
Yeah, and it seemed like the relationship was already ending. Well, somewhat ending anyway, since the last time they messed around was in January of this year anyway. So yeah, I think she kind of used that as a split second opportunity to.
Or he was done messing with her. He found the next one. So now it's like, damn, he ain't cracking me no more. So now I got to try and finesse him to get my cash out on him. I mean,
but there's definitely 20-year-olds,
like
19-year-olds, and 18-year-olds out here that are definitely doing that type of shit every day.
Is it because of the frontal lobe issues? Is that what it is? Because the frontal lobe issues?
Yeah, the frontal lobe.
I ain't say the frontal lobe. First of all, stop throwing that out there at me.
If you look at the age of the women,
but I still agree. I still agree, but I didn't say the frontal lobe. Okay?
If you look at the frontal lobe
issues, she ain't doing it like
throwing that
supposed
frontal
to.
lobe around a lot.
She ain't doing it like she if she was gonna be greedy like that, she should have just settled for the 10. Because if more evidence come out and this man case get proven, she ain't getting nothing. So that
but her lawyer probably told her not to take the 10. You gotta think about it. This is the same lawyer that tried to sue Jay-Z and who else? He probably advised her not to take the 10. Yeah.
He gets a percentage. What would I settle for 10% of 10 million and I could get 10% of 50 million? Come on, man.
To be honest though, John had a point though. It might not even, this whole thing might not even get where it's supposed to go because of the text messages. I mean, in the text messages, she's telling him what she wants from him. She's telling it over and over and over and over. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. So when you bring that to court, then they're going to say, okay, well, did you consent or did you not consent to what you're accusing him of doing? And that's
totally correct. Is right there. If she's saying that I want you to do this, then that's the evidence right there.
It probably is way more text messages than that.
Yeah,
that was probably only a few.
And
How
then it's
y'all
gonna
doing?
match
I
up
know
with
I'm
her
old.
content too.
I know I'm
So
kind
if
of
it match
old.
up
I
with her
don't know my
content, that's
mic.
what she like.
You're
I don't
good,
know
Ghost
my
How
mic.
OG.
you are, OG?
What's going
Hey,
on,
how
You
you
OG?
still love me,
doing?
though.
Hey,
You
what's
still
going
love me.
on?
How
You
you
still love me.
doing?
What's up?
I know it don't supposed to be no more than one elder on this
It is a lot
tonight,
of elders up here.
and he fell off, so he fell off, so I feel comfortable. You know what I mean? But anyway, he was off the hook though. She shot herself in the foot. Now, most of y'all who know me know what kind of business I am. I have had 2 females in my house who into BDSM, and matter of fact, medical term is a sickness. Um, um, uh, if y'all can look up GQ.com story BDSM, you'll see how deep this wormhole goes. People like pain, and you're correct, my sister, when you said them text messages shot her in the foot. I don't believe that there's no man behind her. She made too many mistakes. The first mistake she made is recording. You can't record people in the United States without their consent. That's number one. And that phone call that it was ever played. And another thing y'all forgetting too, it's not like when the Kardashian released their sex tape. There's been a law, federal law since that. You can't do a revenge thing and put a sex tape out anywhere. You automatically go lose your case if that lawyer did that. So that's been a law, I think, in the last 7 years because of a lot of people with what they call revenge relationships, where they release tapes of girls. Guys was releasing tapes of girls. So they just made the law
It's a
shield
federal.
everybody.
It's a federal.
It's a federal
crime.
offense.
Yeah.
So let's look at the things that we got. The things we got. And one of the things I want to say too, because I heard y'all earlier, young ladies, and I understand we all can be misguided in things. That thing of the brain developing at the mid-20s, that's a theory. That's not an actual fact. 99% of all science is a theory. And if you go really do your research, doctors are they are having this argument among themselves about when do a woman brains develop. Because think about it, if it develops at 25, she only have 5 years left before she lose 75% of her eggs. So these are the things that the medical people are having discussion, and I know that's been put out there as a theory for a long period of time, but that has nothing to, let's just deal with the facts we got. Yeah, sometimes us elders can be out of the circuit. There's things going on just way past our head. You know what I mean? What y'all have to deal with as far as dating, hell, y'all have to check birth certificates to find out if a person's been a woman all her life. We didn't have to do all that when we was coming up dating. So y'all got a lot of things that y'all have to go through. The younger generation have to do, but just let's deal with what we got. This whole thing was about extortion of embarrassment. They probably throw some numbers around with Shannon Sharpe that we'll go release these things if you don't pay this sum. And that's just my opinion. Now think about where we at with this. So he didn't succumb to the numbers they throwed out. And so now it's about embarrassment. Because even if she go to the case, she go to court and it's thrown out, a lot of that evidence, if they have an evidence hearing and if it's put in, and even though the case is dismissed, that evidence is still there, even when the case is dismissed. So that's for embarrassment. So she was trying to embarrass him to pay the sum that she wanted, because that's what this is all about. Think about it. Who wants their bedroom, regardless of what kind of sex you have, who wants their bedroom exploited all over the internet and the public domain? Because once it goes to the court, it is public unless the jury seals it. And so we have seen many cases like this. This is not the only case like this. And if you really think about it, the OnlyFans protects Shannon. You know why it protects him? Because the OnlyFans can have where I can I get guys and we have sex over the internet, and that it's not seen as prostitution. Even if he pay and say, I want to make a movie with you, or I want to be on your OnlyFans with you, that's that loophole. So we have to look at that too. So She just really, really left herself wide open. And a good lawyer come in, they go wipe the mop on both of their ass. And so that's the way I look at things. I try to look at the legal point of view of what's going on. Why would somebody do that? Why would somebody release a recording knowing that it's against the law? Why would they even show text that she said she wanted to have real hardcore BDSM? And if anybody know about BDSM, that means you do everything under the sun. Now you have code words. They have code words like when things get too heavy or whatever, something is hurting or something like too painful. They have like red, blue, whatever. I sent JR some tapes. I sent JR some videos, but it's considered in the medical term as a sickness.
Let me find out Viz knows. I heard that pineapple's code word. Don't just say it. Is that your code word, Vince? Is that
you wearing the leather and got the whip, or somebody else wearing it? I want to know that right about now. I'm on parole. I can't be on the set with somebody.
I don't
like
want to know shit about Viz's BDSM life, man. Please don't get that man going.
But hey, sweetie, I'm on parole. I can't be around somebody doing shit like that.
Y'all better stop that. He's got pineapples in his front yard, upside down pineapples.
To be honest, to be honest, there is a study. I'm just going to pick on a couple of things. There is a study, right? And it is backed by science that your brain doesn't fully develop at 25. However, common sense is not that common. And a lot of people make dumb mistakes and do stupid shit. And then this is what the cause of it. This is what happens is that when you're out here fucking around, you fuck around and you find the fuck out. Happens to all of us, and it sucks and it's horrible and it shouldn't happen, right? We wish this world was a better place. We wish people made better decisions, but they don't. The only thing we can control is what we do. So it's and as her point, like, I don't think she's trying to embarrass him. I just think she wants the money. I don't think she's thinking that deep into it. I think she sees a check, boom, bank account wiped. Yeah. That's her money. That's just how he sees, just because of all the text message that she sent him. And then now she's reneging on what she says, like she's revoking what she's saying. She's saying, I didn't want him to choke me, but then I did want him to choke me because that's what I wanted and the stuff. But at the end of the day, this isn't all we can go off is the facts. And based off of the fact, it doesn't look like she has much of a case, to be honest.
I see you try to slip that in. All right. I ain't gonna let you slip that in. Go back and look at the food group in 1970s and look at the food group in 2025. Look at the food group in 1970 and look at the food group in 2025, and that was science. Science, all science is a theory.
OG, what she trying to slip in on you?
She tried to slip that in that if she was trying to keep that right on top, that it is true science. But when you look up the word science, it's a theory. That's why the food group changed. It changes about every 15 or 20 years because science is built on doing studies that produce things over and over until you learn better. And so that's why we eat different food today we did in 1970. If you look at the pyramid in 1970 and look at the pyramid now, it's totally different. That's science for you.
So it was science, and it's a theory that they're gonna lose 75% of their eggs 5 years after they 25.
Yeah, most certainly, because you got some women out here producing, popping more than 75% of their eggs. They work. I mean, the egg might be expired after about 35. Some women got expired eggs, but that don't mean that they they ain't got no good eggs. I wouldn't, would you buy old eggs out of the store?
Oh, but you can't say that because science helps you guys have honey packs. So science is always evolving.
Oh yeah, it could be good.
The world, just like the world, right? So now we have MRIs. Now we have CT scans. Now we have all types of technology to factualize what it is that they're researching. So it's more than just I get a bunch of people in here and I'm going to go ahead and do a study. They're doing an extensive study where hundreds and thousands of dollars are being dumped into. Now, like I said, are we going to use that as an excuse why someone wanted to sit there and get their money up or get a lick? No, but at the end of the day, being young and dumb is a real thing. And honestly,
being old and dumb,
but old and dumb is a real thing.
So,
like I said, common sense is just not that common.
I think we have to stop doing that because we're literally removing the accountability of people making decisions, willfully making decisions. Even when we were young, right? We were all 17, 18 at some point. And I guarantee you, we all made some dumb decisions then as well. And I guarantee you, we all knew exactly what the fuck we were doing when we made those dumb decisions. So I don't understand this logic of trying to use this, oh, their frontal lobe isn't developed. Oh, they don't understand this. They don't. No, that's not a fact. What
No.
the fact is that when you make a decision, you know exactly what it is that you're doing. Even if you have a disability, even if you clinically have a disability, you still know what the fuck you're doing. You know that you're doing this. You know that there's going to be consequences for it. But in most cases, people use that disability as an excuse to get by with it. So
But I think
I don't understand why we play this game as to why everyone is a victim when no, you're not a victim. You know exactly what it is that you're doing. So you have to take accountability for that. And I think that's a big reason why our society is in the position that it's in, because nobody wants to take accountability. Everybody wants to blame someone else, point the finger at somebody else. Oh, I did it because of this. Oh, my frontal lobe ain't developed all the way. Get the
But I
fuck
think
out of here with that shit.
No,
Like,
we're
But
not
I think
saying
just
that.
because you rationalize a decision in your head does not mean it is a rational decision.
Right. Like what I'm saying
what?
is, I'm not saying what
Like
I'm
just
saying.
because your brain, like a 5-year-old, can rationalize, oh, me going outside because without asking because I wanted ice cream, whatever the case may be, and they think it's the correct, they're doing the right thing or they're not doing something that's completely bad.
I'm glad you
Do you
mentioned a
understand what I'm trying
5-year-old.
to? But do you
I don't.
understand what I'm trying to say?
I
I got
Just
don't,
you.
because
because
your brain can rationalize something, it doesn't mean that it's
a 5-year-old will go in the kitchen, open the refrigerator, and they know that they're not supposed to be in the refrigerator. And when you walk around the corner and you catch them, then they
freeze.
They know exactly what they're doing. So let's stop doing this
But
humbug
that still
ass.
doesn't it
But
still
that's not
doesn't
what we're
discredit what I'm saying. I understand what you're saying, yes, but that still does not discredit what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, she's using him or she's manipulating him because her frontal cortex. No. I already done said if it was a different circumstance and it was like a relationship under different circumstances, maybe that argument can be used. But I don't think that it could be used in this situation because she knew she was getting money out of it and he knew he was getting coochie out of it. So
y'all know what's
Right.
I
funny?
like to ask the young ladies on the panel. How many of y'all have been in strip club before?
I've never been to a strip club.
I haven't been to strip
Anybody
club.
up there been in strip club?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, and the reason why I asked you that question because most of all the time the ladies are working in there from 18 to like 20. They're about finished about 27, 28. You know what I mean? And if you go in there and see how them women are operating, I need to know because maybe I'm just out of the loop too. How many degrees you need to know how to have sex?
We've said on multiple counts, she made the decision.
No, I understand that.
All I was making, the only reason why I didn't even bring up the frontal lobe shit. The only thing I was saying was just saying, like, I was telling you, like, hey, it actually is backed by science. I was just correcting you on that. But like at the end of the day, I've said this time and time and time and time again. I'm not taking accountability from anybody. I'm holding people accountable for what the fuck they do. Right or wrong, man or woman. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, Asian. I don't care who you are. If you do something that's fucked up, you're fucked up for doing it. And I'm just gonna say what it is. If you could have prevented something, okay, I'm gonna tell you could have probably prevented that. And if you did something that's fucked up, I'm gonna say you did this and it's fucked up. Like what she did is fucked up, and it happens time and time again. And it's so disturbing because there are people that actually really, really go through like rape. They really go through abuse. They really go through, and I feel like it takes away from the people that are actual victims, the people that don't speak up. Because they're afraid of backlash. They're afraid of being the next topic on these type of podcasts. And that's why it kind of makes me a little bit upset because there are people that are really going through something and it makes the society a little bit more what's the word? When you're a little bit desensitized.
Right.
And so that's the only reason why I said what I said, because there are real victims that go through that. And at the end of the day, we don't know to the extent of what really happened because we weren't in the room with them. All we can go off of is text messages and emails and whatever's in the public. But we really don't know
but
what happened behind those doors.
Callie, you know who else was a victim?
Mhm.
My man King Court. And you know what King Court did? He brought to Mover's attention that she was yelling. And ever since he brought that to attention, she ain't been yelling. She's been speaking softly, resting in her femininity. Shout out to you, King Court. She gonna slide in your DMs after this, dog. Right on.
You want me to go? Hold on. You want me to go off on you so bad, but you know what? I'm not even gonna do it. I'm gonna let you have it. No, I'm gonna let you have it. You got it. Absolutely. You got it.
Callie, I got another question for you.
Yeah.
It's past 12 o'clock. You got it.
So if somebody was living in their house, right, and they locked all their doors and windows,
Uh-huh.
and then somebody smashed the window open
Uh-huh.
and robbed them, would you then be like, God damn, you were stupid for not putting bars on your window?
No, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all. I wouldn't do that at all. No, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna come up here and lie. I may say something that you guys might not agree with, but I'm not gonna lie on here. No, I would be like, damn, that's fucked up. Like I said earlier, that's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. Like in this particular situation, this is how I look at it. It's not a situation where like he was doing normal behavior. Well, he tried to pay her for her services. He did all the right things, and then she robs him, and then you like, well, damn, you should have put bars on the window because he locked the door. He locked his windows, and she smashed through the house with a goddamn car.
First of all, ain't nothing normal.
You're like, God damn, you should have used better bricks.
First of all, we got to stop normalizing that paying for puss is normal. It should not be normal. That should not be something you do. But if you do it to each his own. If you do it, you do it. I'm not the fucking Mother Teresa myself.
Vincent, it's a metaphor.
Watch this, Hank. Hank, watch this. Watch this, Hank.
At the end of the day, you're right. You know, you're good. You're right. Like at the end of the day, he did do a transaction and the transaction ended up flipping. But unfortunately, that's what happens in these streets. That's what happens when you move, when these things happen. This is the type of environment you are exposed to. We can't and it's wrong. It's wrong. It shouldn't, right? It's at the end of the day, it's wrong. But this is the environment you are exposed to when you pay for shit like this. You can't tell me you're gonna pay for something like this and nobody gets found out. It happens to everybody that does this.
Wait, so anybody who wants to tell a prostitute their secrets, they don't lost their damn mind. But watch this, Hank. Watch how I lay this on the table. Nobody talks about a front load when a court decides to charge a child as an adult.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying once they get where that person has did a certain crime and that court want to charge that person. Reason why I say this, I'm not saying the people on the outside. I'm saying that the science that y'all keep laying on the table, that the courts don't even consider that when they want to charge a child as a adult. When a child does a crime, that they contributed that child mind must have been as an adult. Well, we fight against it. I know I fight against it, but I'm just saying is the court don't take that science.
No, they do. They do, OG. They definitely do that. That's usually the main defense in most cases with defense attorneys in those situations. I almost guarantee you that the situation with Carmelo Anthony, they're probably going to use that as a defense.
Well, what about the 12-year-old? What about the 12-year-old guy who picked up the young girl and did a wrestling move on her, and they charged him as an adult?
Well,
so I mean, cases after case after case.
So that depends on the state. So every state is going to approach that differently.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a hearing, and they're gonna have a professional come in there and declare that this person is not front lobe, is not developed, and all that. But I'm just saying is the court go see that and say, hey, no, that child did a heinous crime, should have known better, and we go charge him as an adult.
No,
that's if the crime is heinous enough.
It ain't even that, OG. You have never we've seen kids that got charged as minors, even if they committed crimes. Here's what OG should have said. You ain't never seen an 18-year-old go and commit a crime, regardless of the crime. And they said, man, you know his prefrontal cortex ain't fully developed. Man, we should give him a lighter sentence. You ain't never seen that.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Well, thank you for picking back though, sweetie. You having my back. But you know where I was going with this, right?
Yeah, I know. You
know where I was going. So I'm just gonna say it. Look, the girl wasn't that smart. I mean, she did what she did, but she wasn't that smart. She had some leaks in the whole plan. And that's why I just can't believe that there was anybody now you got the ambulance chaser, the lawyer she got. He been kicked around the United States for the last 6 months anyway. So he's nothing but an ambulance chaser. And so what I'm saying is I don't look as far as this case doing anything but embarrassing and then getting us to talk about another black man who put himself in a situation, because you got to understand, he put himself in this situation too, regardless of what his lifestyle. He could have took his ass to Amsterdam, you know what I mean? And now we wouldn't even be talking about this shit. But he didn't. He looked at something in the gym, and believe it or not, this is why I don't let my daughters go to the gym, because what they wearing in the gym, hell, they wearing at Magic City. So I mean, you could clothes so tight you damn near can see their social security number. So this is why I don't let my daughter go to the gym, because it ain't nothing but a meat package place. You know what I mean? So these people, like OnlyFans people, they do go. That's why they go to the gym, so they can get customers.
I feel like they get customers anywhere, no matter where they at.
Yeah, but
it's easier to do it at a gym than
it's very easy.
Company.
Easier to do it at a gym than a club.
No, like,
well, think about it. The club.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
Well, no, the fitness industry is extremely hypersexual. I would say is almost more sexual than the club. Honestly, like there's a lot of
you seen some of the exercise they do up in there.
Well, no, just
wait. What happens at what club are we talking about? Because I'm thinking about the gym.
I'm talking about the gym.
I'm talking about
that's what I'm talking about. Like so, I'm just making sure I'm not, because I'm talking about like.
Well, no. So if you're the gym and the fitness industry is two different things, right? Some people go to the gym, and then there's people that's in the fitness industry that goes to the gym. If you're in the fitness industry, you're exposed to some really wild and kinky shit. Like it's mind blowing. Because you go to the gym? Because you're in the fitness industry.
I'm just confused. Like, what happens in the fucking fitness industry? I thought you just go to the gym and work out.
Legs open, arms spread apart. Bring them together. While your legs open. Up in the air. You know what I mean? Bend over. Twerking in slow motion. So I mean, it's a strip club.
That's a perception.
I did bodybuilding I competed in bodybuilding for like 5 years, and just being exposed to what was going on behind the scenes is something that you won't expect if you're just going to the gym. Like,
but does that happen in the gym? Just in the gym, everyday gym, you go to the workout?
We're talking about like we're not talking about like the. Yeah, we're talking about this is a code word for something else, because I'm lost.
No, the literal gym.
The YMCA, Planet Fitness.
That's where a lot of people meet each other at the gym. If
I don't meet nobody, I'd be so locked in with my headphones and the deadlifting and squats and shit. I didn't know.
Yeah, you locked in with your headphones. They locked in with the eyes. So you got more things going on.
I just wanted to squeeze in real quick for the BDSM part. I mean, I've been in it for like
talk about it.
It's a lifestyle. He know about it. He know about it.
Black Dragon. Don't nobody want to hear about
my bad. Well, first of all, hello to everybody and good evening.
Black Dragon? You don't know about Black Dragon?
Oh, bro. Come on. No. Hang on. I just want to put the rule. I just want to put the rule out there for BDSM, right? Because like there's been y'all be considered vanilla. Inside BDSM, the number one rule is consent, right? And anything goes, but the number one rule is consent from both parties because of stuff like this going on, right? You don't really hear about BDSM community stuff going on in court because of the word consent. And we know what it means and we take it very seriously. We do all kinds of stuff, as you know, and I'm not going to repeat them or go over the list. That's not the kind of show. But in this lawsuit, though, if when it comes to $50 million or $10, if there's consent, if there is consent, you really don't have a real leg to stand on, no matter what the ages of the two people are, because in the BDSM community, age play, which is what we have here, an encounter between two consenting adults of age, they can consent to any contract sexual action that they want. Right? When it becomes like abusive or from one person to another, the first person you're supposed to do is confront your supposed abuser. In writing or on a phone call. You're supposed to at least acknowledge, hey, what you did to me, I didn't like. Please don't do it anymore. Da, 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 da. The second part would be litigation and all that, and go to court. So just speaking from the BDSM side, you don't really see a lot of this in court on BDSM at all because of consent.
Damn, I would never be walking down the street and look at your ass and think you was a freak. You look like a choir boy. You look like a choir boy with a bad shave.
Do you see the Freddy Krueger hands? He ain't playing.
Holy shit!
That's why I have glasses.
69 guard we got here.
There was just a recent case where a guy passed from a BDSM, that went wrong.
And they charged her with murder. Didn't they charge her with murder?
I think they're trying to. I don't think it'll stick, but yeah, I think he did like the GIMP outfit or something like that, and he couldn't breathe. He suffocated type of deal. But he paid. But he paid.
He know the name of the stuff. GIMP. What is that?
Yeah, a lot of deaths from asphyxiation. Yeah, from pulping pain. Asphyxiation. It's it's called there's either choke play with your bare hands or there's breath play where you get more excited because you can't catch enough air and depletes enough oxygen, and like another kind of adrenaline rush you get from that. There's a high you get from that.
You get high.
But that's, like I said, that's BDSM stuff. Don't try this shit at home. Stay your vanilla ass vanilla. Appreciate your missionary and all that stuff. You leave that extreme stuff to extreme people who know what they're doing for over 20 years.
Hey, if y'all need a BDSM,
he said, "Enter the dragon if you're looking for that type of entertainment." That's crazy.
Set up a consultation with Enter the Dragon if you try to get involved.
I'm not underneath I'm not underneath this. I'm not underneath Enter the Black Dragon in the kink community. They know me as another name over there.
See what y'all done open up the grounds for, man. Now you're over here talking about choke play and
that's crazy.
Look, Sweeney, JR dropped the link. All these goddamn weirdos come up here and shit.
This crazy shit, man. Vince talking about he want to wear leather suits and shit. What is
I'm
going
learning
on?
about what happens at the gym.
I'm
learning a whole new thing today.
I found out
he's a fixture, so he could be just coming up.
I found out about the gym suit from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Throwback.
You sure?
Wait,
it was in a video game. GTA San Andreas, the old school.
I remember that
San Andreas. I don't know about
that game was hella fun.
I don't remember GIMP though.
You could be a
Oh no, you're right. There was a thing where the dude was the GIMP.
He was in the full
outfit.
I remember that game. Yep.
I don't remember that part.
We went from Shannon Sharpe to BDSM.
Y'all must have had a deluxe version.
Well, that's the dynamic that we're dealing with. They're in the BDSM dynamic. He's probably gonna be more dominant. She's more I don't know what she is. I didn't read into
She
her.
sounded submissive from the phone call, but to what you said on the phone call, it didn't really sound like she was in distress or she really didn't. It like sounded very. It's just from someone like usually when you're shaking or you're like scared for your life type of situation. It sounds a little bit
You know
different.
who she sounded like?
It
Sound like they
she
were
was
role
trying to-
playing.
No,
That's what it sounded like. Yeah, a little bit.
To me, it sounded like it was role playing because he said, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna choke you." That sounds like something, Hey, actually, the dragon, the dragon.
Yeah, Angela, don't let your son play Roblox.
See him.
The
He
dragon.
said, "Big black man."
What were you asking,
choke
OG?
little
What were you
white
asking?
woman.
I was asking, don't that sound like just before the event role playing? Did you listen to the?
Oh yeah, I heard that earlier. So like that's a conversation that that like a sugar baby or Little has with her dominant, right? Kind of like that's kind of like a whole play. That's a whole play.
Yeah.
Like she would be talking to her daddy. He would be her daddy. That's basically the conversation.
Now, Nick, I got one more question for you because I know you're an expert. He's an expert, so I got one more question for
Hey,
you.
I love my vanilla sex. Fuck this shit.
What is this bullshit to keep me from driving at night? Well, these sex couples get in cars and push the gas all the way down to their orgasm. What they call that?
So wait a minute, what? They're in a moving car or
what kind of shit are you into?
They're in a moving
We call that
car.
ghost riding the whip out here in the Bay. You step out the car, you ghost ride the whip. You feel me?
No, I'm saying that there's these people, they like this dangerous stuff, and they like this. They get in a car, and I guess I guess whoever turn it is, it could be head on head. I don't know what the hell they be doing, but I heard the story in the grapevine where they get in the car and they hit the gas, and before they can come to a stop, the person supposed to be able to make them get off. What is this bullshit going on?
What kind of
that's something new.
They ain't new.
Wait. The reason I say it's something new because if this was something so common, we would hear about accidents all the time. We would hear about ER. We would hear about it all the time. Mainstream. If anything mainstream, everyone knows about it. If you talk about something and everybody's giving you a strange look, it's not mainstream. It's a one-off.
Did someone ask that of you, OJ?
It's something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did someone ask that of you? Is this from personal experience?
No, you know me. I'm a sheltered guy. You know what I mean? I'm just an old fashioned lover. The hell, I don't do all that shit y'all be doing. Y'all be doing too much shit. I mean, y'all be doing too much stuff. I'm just old fashioned. You know what I mean? I might pay a Superman thing coming in the room, but that's about as far as I go with the freaky shit.
Okay. So I'll put this. I'll put this on too. I don't know 100%. I don't know why we always assume that when it comes to an age gap relationship that the man's the one pursuing. Like some of the younger women do pursue us men. My ex-girlfriend who was 23, I'm 43 now. She found me when I was 41. She's 21, right? I don't know who she is, but she slides into my DMs. Now, hey, a little exchange or whatever. But we went out, we dated in the full Monty. Like, I mean, it happens. But yeah, we're not always looking for the younger women. They sometimes come and find us.
I definitely will say younger women nowadays are definitely more eager and more upfront about everything than back in the day.
Yeah, they're more. Some of them, and what happens over time in a relationship, in a huge, it's a 20-year age.
I think that's just women in general, though. Women love. That.
Yes, but there's an energy exchange, right? The younger woman usually take on some of the energy of the older man. An older man finds youthful energy in his woman when they're dating together, right? So for me personally, I'll put it out there because I push it out there. I'm on my blue pill stuff right now, right? But when I was dating the 21-year-old. I did not. She became my blue pill. I didn't need anything anymore. Just being with her gave me like I didn't need anything. She did like 5 days a week. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, bro,
for real.
say he was out here wrecking.
That was your
I mean, she was
I'm
up the
just saying.
club.
Hey, y'all got
If,
y'all
if,
got
if,
Shooting up
EBD
the
in this
damn
comfort
club.
zone right now, boy. He in this
no,
comfort zone, boy.
if you're gonna ask why older men seek out younger women, we don't need the medication to like function with younger women. Younger women have energy that we feed off of. They want and desire us, therefore we want and desire them, and the energy kind of just matches like that. I don't know. You can't really explain it, but you know it
I mean,
happens.
it does. Y'all gonna love on whoever you want to love on. You're gonna
Right.
fuck on who you want to fuck on. It's just that. It's just. Do you?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just saying. Do you? Like, that ain't got shit to do with me. We're just talking about, whatever happens after that. That's all on you.
Yeah, but no one should be put through the coals because of who you lay down with. I mean, at
I'm
all.
just saying,
yeah.
like there are pros and cons to everything.
Oh, right.
Pros and cons to everything, and I'm not saying like you deserve to get hurt. Like hell no, if someone mess with you, the fuck, But no, I'm just trying to bring it back to the whole Shannon Sharpe thing, right? Because the conversation's like steering.
Please,
I do feel it. I do feel it's still fucked up what she did.
We under the
Still fucked up what she
BDSM Act. We talking about blue pills. Hey.
Well, BDSM's related to this case because we're talking about consent between two adults. That's where the BDSM turns into how their relationship dynamic is. Nobody's gonna really know 100%, but we know it's between them two, and we know that it's supposed to be kept on the DL. But when it's out there, Shannon has been proactive, meaning okay, if it's gonna come out, I'm gonna let everything. I want everything to come out, not this 30-second crap, because we know how the media likes to spin a narrative for a week or a month or however long. If you put out stuff right now and watch everything right now on Shannon Sharpe, if you just watch him, and he really doesn't have anything to hide concerning this relationship. It doesn't seem like it.
You having too much fun with this.
Oh, gee, I told you he's in a comfort zone.
You having too much damn fun with this.
Look, Skip.
Man, EBD's in his comfort zone right now.
Yeah.
Say what?
He ready to tie Callie up right now.
He keep on talking about it. He won't need no blue pill tonight.
Not without consent, sir. I don't do
that. I know that's right.
Hey, so somebody in the comments did mention something that I've heard about, but Dragon, I'm sure you can share on it a little bit more. But the furries.
The furries?
Talk about furries, man.
There was actually a teacher that was a furry, and she got upset because it's people that like to dress up in like animal costumes,
onesies,
they're
onesies,
animals.
very comfortable onesies.
No, they'll be in the whole like suit.
It'll be like the whole
animal. It's an animal thing, but it's a onesie.
The animal, as if they are the animal. And the teacher had like a litter box, and she made like something about the litter box, and she got in trouble because she was supposed to use the bathroom in the litter box. I don't know if it was the teacher or the kid, or it was one of those things. Oh yeah, this shit's getting weird out here.
What is that called again? I guess that's
those
why
are furries. Furries. F-U-R-R-I-E-S. Furries.
I guess that's
like a furry animal. Furry animal.
I think J.I. wants to get OTC in her though right now.
Is that why the younger generation ain't having no kids because they don't turn their bedroom to Disneyland? Animals and all that other bullshit.
Oh, that's a whole nother problem. They just don't know how to put down the phone and talk to people. That's that is. I go to the bars that younger people hang out at on the weekends, and that's what they're doing. They're mostly on their phones. I'm usually the one dancing it up. DJ plays what I like because I like to dance. So after that, they come watch me. Then they have a little courage after a few drinks, and then they want to dance and do some stuff.
Wait,
I heard y'all spending a lot of time around the wrong hole.
Watching him dance.
He said they watch him and then get some courage.
That's what I heard. That's why you ain't gonna have no baby back there. So y'all spending too much time in the wrong hole.
They will not sleep on Disney. I love Disney.
I think that's what Shannon. Hey, wait, Shay, wait a minute. Now that's part of this case, ain't it? Shay was trying to go in the one-way street.
Yeah, I think Shay like 40 something too.
Yeah, she said that was the whole complaint, wasn't it? He didn't supposed to be driving that car the one-way street. Y'all didn't hear that?
Hey, man,
No.
I'm out, man. Hey, y'all have a good night, man. I'll see y'all later.
Bye,
He's
Mr.
like,
Hank.
I'm
You
out.
have a great day.
I'm about to get up out of here too.
Great
Y'all
evening.
tripping.
No, yes, he's
Sweeney,
right.
sir. Sweeney.
Hey, wait. If y'all gonna talk about the case, y'all got to talk about where the problem came in at. The problem came in was that he was trying to use the digestive system in the wrong place, and she said she didn't want that to happen. That's
Yeah,
where the no came in.
that's what the no came in at. The no came in is when he was trying to, do it at the exit, and she was like, she didn't want that.
This was during then?
This was during.
Okay.
Okay, with everything else, but she told him not that.
Did he comply?
Yeah, that. Okay, and then that's when she.
We don't know. I wasn't there.
No, I meant when she's. It sound.
Yeah, what you asked me for? Yeah, like I was peeping in their damn bedroom, like I was one taking a picture.
No, I'm just. I'm asking because she's telling the story, and I'm thinking like if he complied with her request, no means no. The first time, it's not only just no, because I wrote about this the BDSM. I wrote about this whole article about how it's not only the words no, but you can make the sound and we all know what means. Like you don't even have to actually utter the word no. You can shake your head. You can use your finger. There's a whole lot of other things that you can signal that says you don't like what's about to happen, and a person B needs to recognize it and stop. And that all needs to be negotiated before you get into whatever you're going to get into.
I think there's a lot to be said that Shay like 40 years old in the first place. He made this mistake.
That's what I said, but then everybody was like, Callie, you're wrong. Look,
we get on the young men all day, but he's like 40 something, and then I've yet to get in.
OTC, he's 54.
That's even worse.
I think he's 56.
He's 56.
Yeah, he's 56.
Oh shit, 56. Sorry.
Are you good?
We get on the young boys all day about choosing the wrong women.
Yeah, I mean, but I could sympathize with that because I don't want nothing on my back door. So I mean, that shit. If you forcing it, that shit. Damn.
The point is, she wanted them.
Like, just imagine you telling someone, "No, I don't want you back there," and then they just do it. Like you're not even prepared.
I don't care.
I mean, that's an exit only. You know what I mean?
But I don't care. Yeah. I don't care if you say it's okay or not okay. That's a shitty deal. I mean, you can look at it any way you want to.
Okay, y'all, I'm going to sleep.
All right, but that's all right.
Thank you so much for having me up here, y'all. Nice meeting everybody.
All right,
have a good night.
Take it easy. And I heard you hollering early tonight, and
what?
He was kind of turning him on, Shay. He was kind of turning him on a little bit, Shay. That's what.
That's why I had to come up.
Hey, okay, it's my cue to go. All right, y'all have a good night.
He was gonna put you in your place, Shay.
Bye, Shay.
Let me get to these super chats, man. Mills $36 $5 says, "Dang, when the women mature, I guess when y'all turn 80 and females go to war 18 when the brain ain't developed. So, oh well." Next topic. The Will 499. I propose a new law that no one under 25 should ever be put in prison. Their brain isn't developed, so obviously we can't hold them accountable.
Crazy.
We Rob $10 says, "Y'all be wilding with this brain development BS. Teenagers been making decisions since the Egyptians." Alfron $10. "Keep that frontal love theory for young cops, soldiers, and parents. Women need a reckoning with equal accountability of models are not innocent girls. It is age or grift." Afro again $2 says, "Frontal lobe be meant." D Rob $10. "I got a 60-year-old tenant that behaves worse than my 2-year-old son. When did her brain develop?"
Very
Trev, what's going on? Trev, $20. "Why are people throwing the term NDA around? An NDA cannot be used to cover a crime or assault. No matter what NDA she would have signed, it will be null and void in this scenario." Thank you for the knowledge. LD, also remember this dude, King Court, needs to get off the show. AP Accountability Party $20 says, "Mua, my sister calling a man biet Says more about your character as a woman than it reflects on him as a man. I promise you, where you make a man look like a biet is when you rest in your feminine and remove his energy. I missed that one. I didn't even hear it. Must have been subtle. Y'all got some good listening.
Yeah, JR, I did not hear that part. Like
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
be
hear that at
honest.
all.
I didn't hear it either
No,
until Biz said it. I didn't hear
I
it.
heard her say it. She threw it in real quick. You
What
know,
she
She
it was,
say?
said she called him Bookie because he acting like a bitch.
No.
yeah.
Oh, I missed that. Like I
Success
didn't.
gonna be
Yeah,
I
two
I
didn't.
thought she
dollars.
said because she felt like it.
Didn't know there's a such thing as better 304s. Edward Gilbert, $5 says. Al Pacino is 84. His youngest kid, mother, is 30. Why isn't anyone complaining about that? DJ So Lovely with 9.99. Shannon hit the wall. His desperation has caused him to be delusional enough to think a 19-year-old girl wanted him. He should have gotten married in his prime or fresh out of college. Hashtag Catman.
That's what
Big
Oprah
Pierre
was
kind of
saying
lady party
too.
$2 says, "Oh no, disrespect meant in my comments." Move on. The will. Who's that? Let's see, can I? The will, like Big John, is the main reason the sisterhood will remain undefeated. Power Drive at $5 says, "How can a 56-year-old man manipulate a transactional relationship with a 19-year-old?" Big John, she hold all the power and direction. Take the cape off. DJ again 199. This is the fit, feminine, and friendly they beg for. Big and 11 $10 says, "I got a question. If I pay you 50K and it didn't live up to it, do I get some of my money back?" DJ So Lovely 199. Moral of the story, the young chick don't want you. Big at 11 $10 says, "Everyone keeps saying it's 2025. Paying for the cookie is not new. Ask your mom or your auntie, your grandma, or your great grandma." Brother with the $5 super sticker. Thank you. Big Ant 11 $10. I'm not taking any cookie advice
But
from Hank.
I should have
Triple
let him know,
OG.
but I just
Hold on, brother. I'm reading the super chat. I'm not taking any freaky advice from Hank, Triple OG, and definitely not from Dragon or even worse, Sweeney. Hell no.
Hey,
The
I
last
don't,
big
I
Why
don't
don't you
know,
say
will.
man.
what you really feel?
199. Whatever happens to good old face down, hands up.
That's what I'm talking about.
I want to thank
Hey,
everybody that's contributed.
I don't know,
Yeah, that's
man.
what I'm talking about.
Dragon got some he got some notes over there, man.
Yeah.
We might have to do a panel just with him explaining everything to us.
Well, it's just 20 years. I mean, what do I know?
You been 20 years doing that?
Off and on, yeah.
See, he done perfected it.
That's a craft.
That's a freeze. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Catch us. We live tomorrow on the Thursday show. Appreciate everybody that popped in. OTC, I don't know if y'all wanted to say something, brother. Did you want to add anything before we close out?
Oh, nah, first I want to salute to the panel or whatever, and salute to you, because you know what I'm saying, I'm a respectful dude, even though you see me smoking and shit. And and the last thing I
Oh
wanted to
man.
add though is this is an unfortunate predicament that our brother Shannon find himself in, you know, with the younger white female. And I feel like he's one of those elders that, you know, he actually accomplished a lot in his life. And it's real sad to see that, you know what I'm saying, he's another one to say not to get on the women, but a woman is the cause of his downfall, of his legacy. Really, like Kobe, he's another one. So it's like, you know, the way I look at these things, and I know we be hard on the young brothers because, you know, they be scared to approach women. A lot of them is incels. And I feel bad for them, but I also can't not acknowledge that it's dangerous out here for these young boys, because when they try to get into a relationship, I feel they deal with the same thing Shannon dealt with. He didn't understand women, and he fell in love with a young girl. And the young girl, even though she was 19, she probably was dealing with way more dudes and had way more attraction than Shannon with all of his accolades, and she just ended up playing him. And now we're seeing who won in that relationship on on a public stage, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? So
Wait, how do you think he fell in love with her?
I think he fell in love because when you joke with somebody, when you feel comfortable enough to joke with a female like I'll choke you, right? You nowadays men know that that's not a joke. That you could walk by a girl and just be like, oh, I'll take you, I'll snatch you and take you home, and a girl will run to HR and make a complaint. So it's like in this kind of cancel culture, for him to be doing or saying something like that to a 19-year-old, he's 56. It's women his age that'll do that shit to him. So to me, it's like, yeah, you fell in love with her. You got comfortable. You tried to dirty talk to her on some, oh yeah, don't make me choke you. You know I'm Big Daddy. And she, no, you not Big Daddy. I want your money. That's what I'm saying. You're not Big Daddy. You thought you was that because you had all this status, this money, and now I'm finna show you that it doesn't matter. I'm a woman. Their men is gonna support me, and this is what's going on. That's what I see from everything. I think he fell to his emotions, and it was a moment of weakness that she caught him in. He did that a lot. That wasn't the first time he said some shit like that to her.
Well, I'm
Do
pretty
you think he could
sure.
have failed in lust?
Yes, I do.
There's a difference, major difference, and then you got to understand the lifestyle too. That is the would be the grand poupard of sex. That lifestyle. Enter the Dragon have already gave us enough information on it, but if you're listening to him earlier, you can see where there's nothing under that sun that they don't do, and it's based around pain too. So he thought that he telling her that a choker was turning her on, So y'all got to understand that's a lifestyle.
And you're right. I've had women do the same thing and tell me the same thing, and I've also been experienced and been with a woman that be like, oh, don't touch me like that. And then as soon as she said that, you know what I did? I stopped talking to her because this is the type of woman that you didn't already told me you like to be choked, and then when we get an attitude, you tell me, oh, don't touch me like that. So it's
But black
like
guys ain't pulling too much hair, is they?
This is a completely different scenario. You're talking about somebody that you was in a relationship with.
Yeah.
Shannon was
No, I'm
not
not.
in a relation. You was paying for it?
No, I'm talking
Okay,
about
well,
flings.
He's saying that he wasn't in a relationship with her. They weren't in a committed relationship, but it was going down for 2 years. It was
Oh, they were in a relationship? I thought they said that
if you're engaging with someone and having sexual acts for 2 years, I agree with OTC. The man fell in love with her. She seen a sucker and he got licked. It is what it is. Nothing more, nothing less.
And I didn't even know that they was talking that long. I thought this was like a fling situation. So that's definitely adding to the time spending with her, falling in love. Yeah, so yeah.
Let's do the calculation then. If this was actually a relationship, and he was paying $50,000 a watt, and if depending if he was using the blue pill or not, he probably hitting it about 3 times a week. So let's do that out of a month. I don't think it was a relationship. I think it was something that it was a lifestyle that every once in a while he got a little appetite and he called in. I don't think you could pay $50,000 3 times a week for a whole year. You running into $50 million, about 2 years.
I agree with that,
might be a
OG, but
little
then
wrong.
I think y'all kind of blowing this out of.
I know a professional escort too.
He more than likely, yes. If it's been going on for 2 years, then he more than likely got comfortable with her.
He
right?
satisfied customer.
Whenever, right? I know that she's going to satisfy this. She's going to scratch this one itch that I know that she's going to do. I know that she's into this BDSM, this kinky.
Okay, guys, good. Guys, good night. I gotta get off.
Hey, man, come on, man.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, bye bye, guys.
All right. This nigga driving in the dark. He riding around looking for it right now.
Y'all ever notice?
he could they ride around looking for it right now. Like, yeah, oh, this is go. All right, guys. All right.
He might have to make a spin a block. You know what I mean? He might have to spin the block. He sees something.
You guys are horrible, man, but it's fun.
Hey, but JR, did you get that stuff I sent you?
I think he definitely got comfortable with her, but like the whole love thing and like, no, man, come on, man.
You would okay. When it comes to a relationship with a younger woman, okay. The first part of it's gonna be lust all day, all night, like whatever, right? After a couple months, you do get feels. You do spend a lot more time together. You start talking to other people. You start dealing with other people. You start having the monogamous type of deal. When you have a monogamous type of dynamic, you can open it up to new things, right? If she was into things that she wanted to explore with him, he would be okay with it, right? He's trying to meet her where she's at. You know, this Shannon Sharpe is not a BDSM guy. He ain't. Right? She is over here. He's over here. He has to come to where she's at, you know. So he is out of character. Him referring to choking her in public and things like that. Number one, it kind of sounded funny the way he put to it. A big black dude like choking out a little white girl. And the world will love to see that. But secondly, you can tell he's not into the whole talking thing, the dirty talk. That's not how you do it to get a girl like going like that, right? Like let's keep it real. 50-something, you don't know the language of BDSM. You don't know the language of a 19-year-old, right? You can't speak it. They're trying to meet each other halfway.
Yeah.
So what would you tell him to do? Listen to some rap records so he can know the lingo or the
No. Everything's negotiated prior, right? Everything's negotiated prior. She's not listening to any of the Tupac songs of Shannon Sharpe's generation or whatever was going on with his era. He has to come to where she's at, listening to whatever she may be listening to, just to make her more comfortable. He's already Mr. Comfortable. He's comfortable beyond any man's concern. He can have multiple women or access to multiple women, but he chose her for a specific reason. My one reason I would think is that when he's with her, she makes him feel some sort of way that this relationship dynamic that they have together lasted well over 2 years. That's something that he wanted to keep.
I think where the lines get blurred is when, a lot of women will say, oh, they don't care about a man after they stop dealing with him or do them dirty. But the reality it is she cared about him too, which proves to say to your fact that that's why they stayed together for those 2 years. So what I'm led to believe is that he stopped dealing with her from whatever, because she's younger, right? So I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to him, and she probably wasn't complying. So when he stepped away and didn't want to deal with her anymore, this is how she gets back.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
Hey, JR, what was her age?
19.
She was like 19 or 20 around the time they got together.
Okay, because if you put 2 years with them, we're at 19 now. She had to be 20. She'd be 17.
Yeah, when 17, that's a whole different thing. That's her whole other life.
That's yeah.
All right, y'all. We weren't supposed to go this long, but
all right, go ahead, JR.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Lapeef Show. Chat, we love you as always. Panel, you guys are amazing. This was a great topic. I learned some new things, that like what happens at the gym and what we appreciate every single one of you guys, ladies and gentlemen. We love you guys, and thank you so much for supporting our good old friend Lapeef.
On that note, we out, y'all. Thank you.